It goes down once in a while, but.
We're up again. We're up and running.
All right.
Everything is the same, so I just hit
go.
Yeah.
I don't know why. I just like had a...
So how long does it take for you to get the audio episode out?
Usually we record Thursday. I have the audio episode up on Monday.
Oh wow, that's a good quick turnaround.
Yeah, I don't really do any post processing. We don't like add anything like all the sound effects and stuff we do live.
Yep.
We've had like a hand, like, I don't know, maybe 3 or 4 guests that are like, oh, you know what? I didn't really want to talk about that, but I did. And can you edit that out? But very rarely.
Yeah. No, I don't usually.
And now since it goes to YouTube, it's kind of like, well, what you say is what you say. It's out
I
there
had
now.
to-
So,
Yep.
because
I had to
when we
make
didn't do
I
YouTube,
made John edit a YouTube thing, and
Did
something
you?
I said.
yeah,
I'm like, you need to fix that.
You
That
need
looks-
to
that
change-
looks
yeah.
bad.
it's
And
out there
then
now. But
I told my wife about it. She's like, what are you fucking doing? So you make me look like a bad person. I'm like, yeah. She's like, let me listen to it. She listened to it like 4 times. She's like, it's not terrible, but she's like, can you get John to do something with that? I said, he will.
It's pretty badass. You get to put the chats right up there on the big screen.
Yeah, it's nice to have some live feedback once in a while. It's slow going because it's new.
No, I love taking questions and stuff. So.
we used to do like post a question thing, and then
Yeah,
that worked out all right.
Yeah, that worked out.
And then we're like, oh, we'll do it in the live, and then not as many people went to the live.
Yeah,
Sometimes we go back and forth. Depends. Excuse me.
got the hiccups.
Jesus, I can't.
I'm good now. I'm either gonna have 1 or 2, or I'm gonna have 1,000. So I think we're good.
Testing.
Oh yeah, you can. That one. Yeah, there you go. Adjust very easily. I don't need to tell you what to do. You know how these things are. Got to be right on top of
I've
it.
been in a studio or 2.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So many guests come on and they're just like, "Ah!" Like, a mile from the microphone.
Backing out.
Live's still working, right? Cool.
Looks good so far. Yeah. Yeah, it looks good.
All right, great.
All right.
Oh, I'll send you that link quick, Tom. So you
Oh
can
yeah,
post
I'll
it.
share it with people on Facebook and such.
Sweet.
Where are you sending it? Instagram?
Yeah, I'll just send it there because I have that handy. Let's see. Get rolling after that. Share, copy.
Rick V-Dub, the video should be going now.
If it's not, we're gonna.
Oh no, did it crash again?
No, it's fine.
Yeah.
Well,
Oh.
hang on. Let me pull it up. Oh, wrong mouse. Jesus. It's too much shit.
If you just signed on, Rick, we had a moment we had to shut it down and turn it back on. It may be coming back up now.
Yeah, it should be good now.
It's on my phone, showing up okay.
All right, good.
Yeah, it looks good.
Yeah, I think we're good.
Feedback's me right now.
Cool. And yeah, we don't. When this does happen, we've had a couple episodes where we've had some video issues, and
Ooh, bless you.
Oh, excuse me.
I won't waste too much time on that. Because at the end of the day, the audio is what's important.
Right.
But it seems like it's working.
Yeah.
From
think
what
we're
I can
fine.
see.
Yeah. Yeah, Rick said we're good now.
All right, sweet.
Perfect.
John Stairs says he thinks we got it squared away.
Yeah. It's a good thing.
Did you try turning it off and turning it back on again?
Yeah, did you unplug it? The power cord plugged in.
Are all the plugs over here? All right? I can see the video or the audio, so it should be good.
All right, Tom, you good to
All
go?
right.
I'm good to go.
Sweet.
You guys are ready? I'm ready.
Yeah. Excellent. Hello, hello. I'm John Stairs. You're listening to Topics Under the Stairs. As always, I'm joined by Ryan and Mark.
Hello there.
How are we doing?
Tonight we have a very special guest with us. We have Tom Stewart in the studio. It's not often that I'll be able to say this. Maybe never again. Tom Stewart, comedian and paranormal investigator / podcast host / enthusiast. So we got a lot to talk about, Tom.
Yeah,
huh?
that's a lot of titles. Exciting.
Yeah.
Yeah, I believe I was the first to
Yeah.
be comedian and paranormal investigator. There have been some have copied me since.
Really?
Oh,
I'm surprised.
Call him out.
Matt
Call him
Rife,
out right now.
Matt Rife is a big comedian, and he was paranormal investigator, and
I did not know that.
I did
about
it way
him.
before.
I knew
him.
he was a comedian, but I didn't know he was.
I knew he was trying
yeah.
to buy stuff. I didn't know he was.
Yeah, I didn't know he was.
Yeah, he bought the Warren House,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
he's also he used to make YouTube videos back before he was famous, and he's been to a lot of famously haunted places, and he was on Ghost Adventures for an
Oh,
episode,
shit.
stuff like that.
Oh,
Yeah.
more than I knew.
I was doing it
than I
way.
did
I was
too,
doing
yeah.
when he was in diapers when
Yeah.
I started.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we're gonna get all the info straight from the source from Tom, before Matt Rife was even doing it, and we're gonna talk about all sorts of stuff: comedy, paranormal stuff, local stories. I'm sure we've got a lot of local lure here in New England, and
Very haunted area.
yeah, we're gonna dig into all of it. Before we get jamming, this episode's brought to you by Revival Motoring and the Revival Motoring Network. Check out revivalmotoring.com for updates on all the shows. Us here on Topics Under the Stairs, our friends at Luce's Fast and the Revival Motoring Show. Right on that website, you can check out the merch store. There's a bunch of new stuff up there. I'm going to pull it up right now so we can take a quick peek. Oh, look at that.
Oh, good Christ. You just did that for your car.
No, I don't. Let's see. It's a random video. I didn't know my
it's
car was
random.
going to be on there when I pulled that
Yeah,
up.
nice talking to you.
I had no idea.
Sure. Yeah, because
It's almost as if you didn't make the video.
Yeah.
I didn't. Josh did.
Okay.
right.
It's like he never pulls out the website. Let's
No.
be honest here. Yeah, I'm
That's been
gonna
on
tell
there
you,
for a while.
That was a plan.
It's been up there for a while. Okay.
Yeah, you can get the car care products. We've got the Pit Shine Quick Detailer, the Victory Lane Spray Detailer, the glass cleaner rather, the Hot Lap Wash and Wax. There's a bunch of new shirts up there. If you missed the Halloween drop, shame on you. These are all limited things. Under the latest category, there's the 10mm socket shirt.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, there's lots of good shirt designs out there. So
It's like,
check
I'm
them
out.
out.
Peace.
Yep, check them out. There's some nice embroidered hats on there. Endless options to support Revival Motoring. And at the end of the day, when you support Revival Motoring, you're supporting us. The studio costs money, the hosting costs money, the equipment costs money, and we greatly appreciate it. If you want to help the network without having to buy a T-shirt every month, there is another way. It's called Bucks for the Boys. Bucks for the Boys. It's our value for value method, like PBS. You can subscribe and automatically leave a sustainable donation to the network monthly, whether it be $1, $2, $3, $5, whatever. And if you are a member of Bucks for the Boys, you automatically get entered into a contest to win a prize the first Wednesday of every month when Revival Motoring records their episode. They will pick the winner based on current subscribers, and the prize could be a current item of merchandise. It could be a package of sponsor-donated items. There's a lot of fun things that you can win. Without giving away too much, I'm working with Josh on some new giveaway items for some sponsor-related things that are not necessarily Revival Motoring products, but people we've had on the shows or talked about. So if you're a subscriber, you get a chance to win. And let's face it, I mean, we're not bazillionaires yet, so there's not a lot of subscribers. So
Yeah, no,
you have a good chance.
You haven't been getting a check. Me and Ryan were talking about it.
I wait
We're
every
like,
day for
Ryan's
the dump
getting-
truck full of money.
John's
Yeah.
getting paid all the time. We're
I know. No money.
Yeah.
Nothing.
pulling up the website all of a sudden. His phone, his car's on there.
I know.
How convenient. Look at this. It's on there again. Jesus.
Yep. So check out revivalmotoring.com for all the pictures of my car, and you can purchase some stuff too.
He's getting out of this so quick. He's
Yeah,
definitely
he is.
getting something.
Yeah. I'll get out of that. And yeah, the best thing you can do, honestly, besides the money, is tell a friend about the show. You can share it on your social media when listening to an episode. You can tell a friend if you're on a bus ride full of people. You can play it on a Bluetooth speaker at full volume. There's lots of options to share the show, and we appreciate any of them. So if there's a way to like or follow the show on the platform you're using, please do that. Leave a comment. I actually do have some comments.
We have comments?
Yeah, so
Oh, damn. I'm scared.
this is actually something I've been meaning to do for a few weeks. I'm going to pull this up really quick here. So on Spotify, you can leave comments.
Right, Tom? It can't be good.
I hope there's some negative ones because those are the
Those
best.
are the best.
Spotify, for years, you could not leave comments. And now you can.
Oh, you can now. Oh,
Yep.
shit.
Oh, some of mine are fantastic, by the way.
And there's a guy that has been leaving. I won't say guy. There's a person leaving comments. I assume it's a guy because that's like 89% of our listeners. This username is insane. But I want you to show yourself because I feel like it's somebody that has been in the chat or has commented on other social media or something. This Spotify username is 7UCHW73VEJD1D5LC by.
Oh, so they're not a bot.
So that's
well,
definitely
but
not a
these
bot.
comments, it's like it's mostly about you.
Really? Does you want to know my social security number?
No, it's, Ryan, you should probably interrupt a little more. You guys should probably interrupt each other a little more. That's on the episode with Blake, and then okay,
I'll talk over him all day long.
and then the next one is an episode with just the three of us. Guests are fine, but when it's just the three of you guys, phenomenal. Here's another one. I'm pretty sure the whole Jeep duck thing is kind of ridiculous. I'm pretty sure it's a cult. But if you look into the backstory of how it started, it's actually a pretty cool story. Love the podcast, boys. And then this was from the episode about hunting with Blake. Water, dirt, moisture. Isn't water and moisture the same thing? Also, maybe the host that laughs over everything could stop that so he stops interrupting.
Holy shit. This
So-
is the same guy?
Wow.
This is totally a
Hey, that's
regular
all
listener.
good feedback. Right?
It is. It's and it's a regular listener though, and it's like love the podcast, boys. He loves it when we're just bantering amongst ourselves,
My favorite.
and he's roasting us at the same time.
So not Blake the Hunter, but the other Blake. I'll talk over him all day long because he's my brother. That's my goddamn right.
Yeah. So maybe this is your brother, Blake.
It's probably my brother Blake. Yeah.
But yeah, we need to find out who it is. So if this is you, show yourself. Yeah. Tell us.
Reveal
you know
yourself.
what? Reveal
Paul,
yourself,
that's
and I'll give you
100% Blake,
I'll give you a free Topics Under the Stairs shirt if you reveal yourself.
Oh.
So-
Well, how are you going to know it was really them?
We're not gonna
And
know.
you're going to have 18 people
I'll need
saying,
proof.
it's
It's
me.
true.
I'll have
Send
to
me the
have them
t-shirt.
leave a comment.
Oh, with that name.
With that name.
Same, yep.
That name's wild.
Yeah, it's just like a default
Just-
username on
yeah,
Spotify.
It's just got to be a randomly generated one.
So that's my fun thing for the day.
Some pressure because he roasted all the guests too. Now I got to like step up the game.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you never know. You never know who's listening. As far as callbacks, I don't really have anything specific. I do have a news thing that's kind of a callback, so I'll just
Okay.
save it for that. I'll keep that brief. Ryan, do you have any
I've
callbacks?
had a bunch of random things. I'm not sure what category they fall in, but we can
Yeah.
dive in.
Lay them on me.
Well, you just talked about PBS, and that actually coincides with Bob Ross.
Yes.
Obviously had paintings.
Oh, they just did an auction.
oh.
right?
They're doing 30 paintings. They sold 3 out of the 30 and got $600,000.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Are they,
great.
is it for
help-
charity or
Oh,
anything?
it's for PBS
Okay.
because
Yeah,
of
to raise money
certain
for
people
PBS.
who have defunded PBS.
Yeah.
So they're trying
Gotcha.
to keep PBS going. And
Nice.
Can't beat a good Bob Ross, right?
I love Bob Ross. He was the man.
The best.
That's cool that they did that because the people who own the Bob Ross estate now aren't his family or anything.
Oh,
Right,
wow,
because he had a
really?
son, right? That was like super
Yeah.
into everything, but
Yeah,
like
they like sold all the rights to Bob Ross to like some like corporate entity who
Oh.
apparently have like exploited it or abused it or,
No
or
shit.
refused to let the family have any.
Wow.
There was like a documentary on it and everything.
Oh.
These people, the documentary is like, don't buy Bob Ross stuff because you're helping the wrong people. It's not going
No
to
shit.
any of the people he
Oh,
cared
that's
about.
interesting.
Yeah.
There we
Yep.
are.
That was one of the paintings that sold. It was
So
183,000.
maybe these were
Yeah, yeah,
privately
yeah.
donated from people who already owned them.
so they only have 30, so I'm assuming and they said these were all painted on the show.
Oh,
They were
wow.
all
Oh,
painted on
okay.
the PBS show.
Yep.
The ones that they're donating at least.
Yeah.
So have you ever seen the
Yeah.
clip
There's
of
clearly happy little trees right
Yeah.
there.
Right,
There's
of course.
always
Yeah.
happy little trees.
they're always so happy. There's a clip of they take the first painting he ever did and they run the paintings in succession in like a like fraction
Oh, like
of
a stop
second
motion thing?
clip art thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's just an ever-changing landscape that goes from one season to another and back to one season to another. It's unbelievable.
Yep.
Like
Yep.
he couldn't have done it on purpose if he
Have
tried.
you ever heard the joke that he was secretly a mass murderer, and all the paintings are where he buried bodies.
Oh, that's amazing.
Shit.
What
I've
a-
heard
what a
that.
great story
I kind
that
of
would
want
be.
that to be true.
But I've also heard the rumor that he was like a Navy recon like black ops guy, and he got out of that and did this to relax.
Yeah,
So
that part might
there's
be
a few
true.
other things out there that might not be real.
My favorite part was
Yeah.
when he would take the brush and just like whack the hell out of it
Yeah.
on the easel.
Slap the water off.
Yeah.
Oh,
And if you ever go into
We miss you,
Widowmaker
Bob.
Brewing,
Yes, I was just.
It's
John,
aware?
he
if
grabbed
you
it
go
from-
to
Yes.
Widowmaker Brewing
Yep.
in Braintree, if there is not a football game for the Patriots on, Bob Ross
One
is
TV.
100% on
running
the
on
TV
television.
all
Yeah.
the time.
One TV has Bob
that's
Ross.
cool.
It's usually the one over the long benches there by
Yeah.
the open windows.
Yep, exactly.
really
And it is
fun.
Bob Ross 24/7 on that TV.
Yeah, it's so funny.
You ever watch his final?
Don't you wonder if that's a
episode?
wig?
No.
Does anyone wonder if that's a wig?
Oh,
What's-
no, that's legit.
That's
here.
legit.
That's 100%
His
real.
final episode.
Nobody
is,
would
like,
have
sad.
done that on accident. Like nobody would have put a wig on that looked like that.
The final episode, it was
Phenomenal.
like a goodbye
It's like
episode, like he
1994,
knew.
right?
Yeah.
It was like, yeah, this is my last one, and you know, you can just hear all the viewers crying, like, no.
But he
please.
died less than a year later, so he must
Yeah,
have known he was sick.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like Alex
Yeah.
Trebek.
yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
that guy fucking.
It went right to the end, like literally a week.
End.
It was the
My
week.
That guy was like hospice care,
Savage,
still hosting
yeah.
the
Yeah,
show.
they like pushed him out of the bed and stood him up.
Yeah.
Yeah. He wanted to die at that podium for sure.
Absolutely.
Another one, Ozzy, like that too. With that last show.
Unbelievable.
The
Another
tribute
one.
concert,
Yeah, it's
yeah.
amazing.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, that last show was incredible.
Yeah.
And
was-
still
was
be
what,
able to
like 9
belt the
days?
few lines he was able to do, like even
Yeah.
knowing his health, like
Oh,
was
yeah.
pretty great.
All right, what else you got on that list, Ryan?
Yeah.
Hey John,
Yeah.
what's your favorite kind of movie?
Rom-coms, Christmas rom-coms
All right.
specifically.
Did you know that Blake and I are in the most recent Hallmark movie,
Which one?
A Newport Christmas?
Oh, I want to watch that.
I'm gonna send you I can send you the clip.
Yeah, send it over.
Just like 90 minutes of people in traffic looking for a parking spot.
Yeah.
No, so last December,
yeah, nobody's there in December.
Yeah. Right.
my brother and I got to go on a friend of his boat was doing the Christmas parade in Newport with the boats. It's like you decorate your boat in the light parade and it just like loops around the harbor.
Yeah.
So he did. I just showed up and had a good time. These guys like worked on this thing. So the kid's got a fishing boat, and he put a dinghy in the back and put a marlin, and he lit the marlin up. And then when the line went to the boat, my brother dressed up as Santa Claus and pretended to reel the boat in while I actually reeled the boat in with the line you couldn't see. So it looked
Yeah,
like
yeah,
Santa
yeah.
Claus was fishing. Where the fuck is the? I think it's here.
Well, anyway, what's the name of it?
A Newport Christmas.
A Newport Christmas, and it's on the Hallmark Network.
It's on the Hallmark Network, and we're there like minute 38-ish.
Excellent.
And you can see they zoom into the boat, and you can see me. Well, you can see two people, and it's me and my brother.
I'll be waiting for the Topics
Yeah.
Under the Stairs royalty check.
Yeah.
IMDb credit right there for you.
Yeah, exactly.
We are definitely uncredited.
Yeah.
Let's see what else we got here. Oh, this is just funny. I was watching TV the other day, and TF Green,
Yep.
the Providence Airport, had a commercial where they were kind of bad-mouthing Logan. It was,
Yeah. They should.
Oh, yeah, that's what
they
they,
were
do.
like calling him
Good.
out. I was like, what am I watching right
Logan's
now?
a mess.
That's a good
It's
idea.
fucking hilarious.
The
You ever
last
seen
time.
an airport do a commercial before? Like, that's wild.
No, I haven't. But the last few times we've flown, I've flown out of Providence, Warwick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anytime
It's
you can.
so
you-
much
you've got
fucking
to.
easier. It's
Yeah.
unbelievable.
Yeah, anytime you can. I mean, even the New England Patriots choose.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
TF Green
I
over
know.
Logan.
Logan's been under construction
I
every
work at Walk
goddamn
all the
terminal
time, and the Patriots jets are always there.
for literally the past 15 years,
Yeah.
and it's not making anything any better. Like,
No.
it's unbelievable. It's a disaster over there. Outside is the worst part. Inside's whatever. It's like any other airport. But, like, outside just alone is like...
And if you miss the exit, you're screwed.
Oh,
You're missing your flight
Oh,
if you
my
miss that
God.
exit for Logan Airport.
Fucking brutal, man.
You gotta go to Revere and turn
It's
around.
brutal.
You might as well just drive to
Yeah.
your destination at
Yeah.
that point.
Seriously. Yeah, no, we'll fly out of work anytime. TF Green, any.
If there's a direct from there, I always take that.
Yeah.
For sure.
It's worth the extra little bit of money, too.
Yep.
Even parking's fucking cheap.
Well, that's the thing. The parking offsets the cost.
It's
Yeah.
unbelievable.
But you'll have a better chance of getting a buddy to drop you off at
Yeah.
TF Green
No,
than you
of
do
course.
Logan.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah. Fucking Logan's a mess.
But yeah, the other thing I had was Sorry,
words.
It's all right. We'll edit this awkward pause out. It's all right.
We're good. Did you see the Miss Chili World Contest?
What do you mean, what do you mean Miss Chili?
It was
the
a beautiful-
restaurant?
Like no chili, like
Okay.
CHLE.
I was with you. I was
country.
like, the
Oh, yeah.
Chili.
Oh
the
yeah,
Chili
yeah.
Chili
The
chain?
girl that did the death metal vocals.
Yeah.
That was super cringy.
Oh yeah.
Was it?
Yeah,
I
I
thought it was
thought so.
rad. Well, she won.
Yeah, no, she won. It was cool. It was cool. I guess I felt more bad for everybody in the room that had to watch it because it's no one that would ever care. That's the thing.
Right.
It's cool to me, but I would never be in that room. You know what I mean? So it's like for everybody in that room, it's like, ooh, that must have been an awkward couple minutes.
Got to give her credit for doing it. Though.
But yeah, it was
You
cool.
know,
She made a choice.
every consultant was like, "Don't do
Don't
this.
do this.
Please don't do this.
Juggle.
Yeah,
Juggle, do a
come up,
backflip, do something.
tell a poem or something. Don't do that."
Yeah.
And she's like, "No, I'm doing it."
No, it was cool. She stuck to her guns and did it, and it got a lot of good feedback. It did indeed. But man, all I could think about was like, the couple hundred people in that room that just hated every second of that. It's rough because the people that appreciated it were not in the room. That's
Fair.
that's my
That's fair. Like I
that's
said.
my thought on it.
But I'm with
But yeah, no,
think
you
it's
and
awesome
I,
that
it's
she
like a
did it.
super cool. Yeah. I have one thing. This was on the news today. This alligator was in the Charles River, and some random guy riding a bike down the bike path took a picture of it, and it ended up on the news. And the news does what they do, and they called reptile specialists. And this gentleman, Joe's, let me get the name of it correctly. Joe's Crazy Critters, responded, and he was interviewed by NBC Boston.
Yeah.
And they said, Joe, if you knew the location of the alligator, would you try to go find it? And he was like, yeah, if send me the coordinates of the picture, and I'll try to find him. And he did.
How did he find that little tiny thing?
He found it like 2 hours after the interview. He got the
Like he was
coordinates.
probably trying to sunbathe.
He said, if you let me keep it, I'll find it.
Yeah.
Well,
Crikey.
Here's
Yeah.
the thing. So the water temperature was way too cold.
Yeah.
So it was pretty dormant. So it's
So
like,
me and Kat talked about this.
Yeah.
We're like, he's got like very limited time.
so that was the whole thing.
Yeah.
It's like, if I get the coordinates of that photo and it's within the last couple hours, like chances are that thing's going to be in the same area. And sure enough, it was. It didn't move far. And he went and got it. So I sent him an email. And he's coming on the podcast next week, hopefully with the alligator.
No.
So, yeah.
we don't
that's
have
cool.
to bring like the animal.
Oh, no, we do. Yeah. and I
You
said
gotta have the you gotta have the.
I would rather
alligator.
play with that than the goddamn snake that was here.
snakes,
I'll tell you right
plural.
now.
I didn't know we were gonna play with the alligator.
Yeah, so he's going to bring some critters with him. He has a whole business
That's exciting.
doing reptile expos and kids parties. So he's going to bring a whole gaggle of things. And he's got a couple alligators. So I'm sure there will be at
Great.
least be a alligator here.
Good, I'll be scared. Great. So, all right, let me ask you guys this real quick.
Okay.
So, if you guys were walking down the Charles, wherever, body you want, you saw a little alligator, would you really call anybody? I would just be like, oh, look at that. I would
Really?
just- yeah, what the
You wouldn't call anybody?
Who am I going to... Obviously, there's somebody to call, but who?
I would
Who
call
do I-
animal control in a heartbeat because that
God.
thing's going to die.
Have you ever... You've dealt with animal control. How's that go? Great.
I deal with animal control all the time.
Yeah, why all the time?
Well, not all the
What's the
time.
problem?
But I have a lot of animals, and
Yeah.
I want them to know every one of them. Because if one of them's taking
Yeah,
off
no,
down the
I'd probably
street,
just move on.
I
I
want
would
her to
probably not
know-
make a call.
yeah,
Yeah, no, I probably
Okay,
wouldn't.
Well,
no,
that's
no.
a you thing.
Yeah, no, you would make a call, Ryan? Tom, help me out here.
I don't know if I would
probably
call
would.
animal control, but
I think I would just walk
The
by.
police or something, right?
I'd probably
Police!
pick it up or call somebody.
You're
or
just gonna grab the
go on
alligator.
Facebook and
You're
say
a
anybody an
savage.
expert with.
Yeah.
with
Anybody missing an
reptiles.
alligator?
Yeah,
Well, I mean, it's obviously in there for a reason. The thing didn't get out in an apartment. It's just like fuck everybody.
yeah. No, somebody.
I'm out of this
somebody
ghetto ass
released
shit.
it.
Somebody
It's
flushed
just
him.
getting
To
too
the
big.
Charles, he says.
Can I tell you guys my alligator story?
Please.
Yeah, of course.
I'm under a lot of pressure.
Also,
from
you
that
have an
commenter.
alligator story?
Yeah.
Holy shit.
I do,
Okay.
and it's very similar to this. Years ago, this was probably early 2000s. I was working on Channel 10 News. I was a traffic reporter, and there was a big story about people were seeing an alligator in the river in Providence. I forgot the name of the river. It's got like one of those weird Native American names, but it's the river that goes like right under Providence Place Mall.
Okay.
The one they
So-
moved for the highway.
So everybody kept spotting this alligator, and people were making reports, and there were
Like where they do water fire and
they
everything.
were yeah. And there were like animal experts and everything going out there looking for it and everything. And it became a big story. So I started a Twitter account, the Providence Alligator.
Oh, that's
Okay.
great.
and just did it anonymously. And I just, every few hours, I'd write a post about different places the alligator's visiting, you know, like just went by the state house, talk about a lot of reptiles, you know, just silly little comments, you know,
That's great.
Just, you know, just swung by Duncan and, you know, whatever.
Yeah.
And so it was just all just every few hours. And I did it for like a week.
Yeah.
And it blew up. Huge. Every news channel
Everybody must have been
was
reposting
talking
it.
about the
Yeah.
Twitter, putting them up.
Yeah.
All the TV stations, all the radio stations, the newspapers, and nobody knew it was me. I was literally sitting in the other room
That's so funny.
while people
your
like Dan
co-anchors are
Janey
like,
were
"What is
posting,
happening?"
Oh,
talking
that's great.
stories about it, and I'm like, "This is the funniest thing I've ever done," and no one knows that it's me.
Oh, it's hilarious.
Yeah, and at that point, it's like you don't even. It gets to the point where it's like, wow, it got so big, I don't even want to tell anybody it's
yeah.
me.
Yeah, and then when they finally caught it, I was like, "Oh, well, this sucks." But you know, if I tell people it's me, everyone's gonna be like, "Who cares?" It was fun while it lasted for that week.
That's awesome.
And it was just, I was having such a blast with that. I was like, "Please don't catch him."
That's one of those things where it's like you just got to think on the fly.
And
That's thinking like a
It was
comedian.
a big alligator
good.
too. It was like
Yeah,
2
fuck
feet
that.
long.
Oh,
it
wow.
Was,
No.
it was like somebody's pet alligator that got too big for them to handle, and they just chucked it
They're
in
like,
the river.
"Eh, it's
I'm
time to go."
surprised that's even like. I'm surprised they got rid of that as fast as they did. Like that doesn't seem that big to me.
2 feet, it's 24 inches is the limit.
Well, yeah, but that's not. Well,
But to have
in
your house,
Massachusetts,
you
there
can-
is no limit.
so-
You can't have
and
one.
then what? You
I-
make bad decisions and just let it
You're
in the
supposed to give
river.
it to a zoo.
Yeah.
Or some kind of whatever.
Yeah.
But
I
had a
mean,
buddy-
Boston's a zoo.
I had a reptile buddy back in the day, and he had a bearded dragon, and he had a little tiny alligator
Yeah.
like that. It was
Oh, fuck that.
more beige than dark green, but he said I can only keep it till it's 24 inches, then I have to give it up. But he used to let it out in his room, and it would run around, and then he couldn't find it for a couple of days. I'm like,
No.
bro,
A couple
you
days?
gotta,
No.
you gotta keep it in the
What's
thing.
that mean? Don't be a pea, Mark? What does that mean?
Peen.
A peen? No, it's a pea.
I think because you don't want to hold the alligators. Don't be a pussy, maybe.
Yeah.
Oh, is that it? You
That's
didn't
what
want to type
we're
it
going
out?
for, Yeah.
Yeah.
Who's the pussy now?
No, the Rhode Island has some interesting laws with
What you
pets
can and
compared-
can't do.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
you can have piranhas in Rhode
I was
Island
just.
too. I
Oh,
think.
that's
Right.
I was just
But if
gonna
you
say
tint
that,
your windows,
yeah.
they'll shoot you on sight.
Yeah,
Fucking-
piranhas
you
are
can
fine.
have an
though.
animal of prey, but don't tint your windows.
Don't
You'll
flip
die.
me out behind your tent.
Exactly.
That's what they. That's a big deal.
Yep.
I have.
Yeah,
It's
one
not
little
really a
thing, we'll
callback.
dive
but
into our
I
interview
have just
here.
a general question for everybody here.
Okay.
Okay.
All right, real quick. So like people compare like older sports figures to like the current league.
Who's the best?
Like, let's just
if
for-
they played each other,
for
like that
example,
kind of stupid shit. Sure.
Let's just say Bobby Orr and Wayne Gretzky, right?
Okay.
And my nephew that I love dearly always peppers me with this, and then someone looked at it differently. He may have the same opinion, but anyways. So they go, Uncle Mark, would Bobby Orr and Wayne Gretzky be able to survive in today's NHL? I said no. And then someone I've coached with was like, "What are you talking about? Why not?" I'm like, what am I talking about? What are you talking about? And he's like, I saw them play. I said, no, I get you saw them play. I saw them play too. I had all the DVDs and all the fucking footage. Like, I saw all that shit. He goes, all right. He's like, how do you say they wouldn't survive? So when someone asks you that question, how are you perceiving how they can't survive? Like, what era are you putting them in? Anybody.
So, for me personally, I would think the game is different, right? Not the person. The
Right.
game is different, right?
Exactly.
So, like, back then, no fucking helmets. These guys had no fucks given, and they were going for blood, right? So, like,
Yeah.
my mother was the biggest Bruins fan and would stomp the ground when the
Yeah.
fights were going on when I was a baby. I was
Right.
like 2 or 3,
Okay.
4 years old. She's like, fight, get him.
Sure.
Like, she wanted to see blood, right? Now you can call it whatever you want, but they've taken that out of the game to a
Sure.
degree in hockey, right?
Right.
So you let them fight, but then as soon as like someone goes to the ground, whatever. Dude, I just watched a clip. It was just went by the other day when, oh Christ, the bruiser for Bruins.
O'Reilly?
O'Reilly went
Yeah.
into the stands and fucking done a beat
Right,
the shit out of
exactly.
fans.
Oh,
Like,
right.
You can't do that shit
No, right,
anymore. So
right,
like
yeah.
that's how the game.
Today's
is
hockey players wouldn't make it
So when
in
someone,
old times.
That's
not the other way
more
around.
like the other
so
way.
this is how I answer that
Or no,
question.
those guys have been the entire time in the penalty box.
So when someone asks me the question,
yeah,
will Bobby Orr survive? Would he be competitive in this day and age? I always say no. And I say that about Wayne Gretzky too. Now here's what I've
I
never.
have a second take on that when you're done.
That's fine.
Okay.
So I say no immediately because I'm like you're taking someone from the 70s in their 20s and just I'm picking them out of that and just putting them in the current NHL.
Right.
Their skill level, their conditioning, their equipment, they're not going to survive.
They smoked on the bench.
Well, here's the thing. So
that
so
that was a different era.
so when I was having this argument with this guy I coached with, I'm like, he's like, I watched it. I said, yeah, I know. So which leads me to believe why you don't understand this. What like you think they would be okay? He's like, well, how are you taking that question? I said, I'm taking the question as I'm plucking them out of their 20s and the 70s.
Yeah.
At least Bobby Orr, and putting him in the current NHL as is, as you see him,
As he was then.
right
Now. Yeah.
And they're like, well, obviously he wouldn't. I'm like, then I don't understand. To
Now, how do you
me,
compare-
take
you
it
can't
the other
compare it.
way,
Right.
with him conditioned and with the equipment now and everything. I'm like, yeah, he's going to be competitive. Like, I don't think,
Right.
to me, that's not a question of comparison if you're going to put them in currently.
My other comparison
It's
is
apples and oranges.
the kids now that
So
are
I'm
playing
not
hockey.
crazy.
No, you're not
at
crazy.
all. The kids now that are playing hockey, if they wanted to be a professional hockey player,
Right.
have been born and bred and conditioned like
Let me
Ivan
tell you
Drago
s-
from Rocky IV from the time they were this big. Bobby Orr played on ponds and probably got a little coaching here and there, and he's just a good hockey player, right?
I coached kids that were 12 years old, 13 years old, junior high kids.
Yep.
I couldn't believe the shit they were doing.
Yeah.
I'm like,
They come in knowing. They're so far ahead of
and
where...
the condition, everything's changed. Like that was my example to my coaching friend. I'm like, you've seen the kids we've coached. I'm like, we've all coached the same age. I'm like, the stuff they're doing now, me and you never would think about doing.
No.
That wouldn't even be a thing. He's like, no, that's true. So I don't know. I found that interesting. So I asked my wife this, and she literally was like, yeah, well, when you ask that question, I would take them as in the current NHL. I'm like, then what are we comparing at this point? Am I wrong there?
Right, but you also, like, the current age, again, it goes back to the rules and regulations, and this goes for all sports, right?
It's not even that.
they've
It's just the
taken the-
conditioning alone.
Yes, that is 100%
Yeah.
one thing, but then you have three other things that are 100% that as well. The rules have changed, what you're allowed to get away with is
So the
changed,
bottom line here is when that question's asked, we're taking them plucked out of in the 70s, just thrown in, right?
it's not fair. You can't do that.
Right. They wouldn't survive.
Right, they wouldn't.
Okay.
But
So I'm not
look at
cra-
they
pure
would have
size
come
difference.
up differently if they were.
Of course.
Of
they
course.
would.
If you
throw them
started
in,
Bobby
they'll
Orr-
be just as competitive as anybody else, if not probably the best.
If you took Bobby
There's no
Orr
doubt.
at, say, 7 or 8 years old when he
Yeah.
decided to get into hockey and you
Yeah.
started him now,
Yeah.
he would also be great.
Yeah.
You can't just take him out of that area and
Yeah.
put him in this area.
All
That,
right.
that doesn't really
Yeah.
jive.
I was very shocked at that.
This is one of those questions where you're usually 6 beers deep
Exactly.
yeah.
when you
yeah.
when you ask it and have to answer.
The other one, and I don't follow basketball at all, but you got the LeBron and
Michael Jordan, yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I asked a guy today at work, same question. I talked about
Did you ever
basketball.
see Michael Jordan flop on the ground? No, he got
No,
up
of
and he
course not.
played.
Yeah.
LeBron has about
Fevers, the
250,000
Yeah.
flops
6
to
championships.
get yeah.
6 championships.
Sports are
Yeah,
exhausting.
you're being fun.
Yeah.
You're doing good though, John.
Yeah.
Crack that beer open.
Don't even get me started on
Yeah,
football.
you got to
Anyway,
have a few
Yeah.
in you for
Yeah.
these kind of questions. And
exactly.
I quit
All
drinking like 8 years ago, so I'm.
Ugh, sports is just exhausting to me.
I never took it that way. I was like blown away, and then I'm like, wait, is everyone taking it that way?
Yeah.
Like as if they were currently in the NHL, like in their 20s, and I'm like, then we're not comparing anything.
It's very subjective.
Yeah, right. All right.
Mm-hmm.
So, all right, John. All right, John. Sorry. Go ahead.
Shall we?
Yeah.
He's desperately
shall.
steering
My
this
God.
away
He's
from
like, maybe if I
sports.
throw this up.
Let me get out of the
As soon
sports.
as this
Hey,
is
man, let's
sports,
go back
he has
to the
a
alligator.
coronary.
Hey,
yeah.
It's like you and band. I listen. Calm down.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. With sports.
Yeah. Bands.
I haven't had a band on in a while.
That doesn't matter.
It's true. So like I said, we have Tom Stewart with us tonight.
I'm here.
Tom,
Talk about
where do
whatever
you want to
want.
start?
Talk
What do you
This
think
is
we
your
should
show.
start?
You
So
guys can start wherever you want to go.
I think that we should start with your interest in paranormal,
Okay.
because I imagine
All right.
that was before comedy
Well, yeah, because that started when I was
when you were young,
just
right?
a wee boy. Yes.
We'll
Although,
start there then.
Comedy started young for me too, but
But
my paranormal interests were when I was young, like just before I could drive. Even I was just very curious about anything to do paranormal because I just had things happening around me that I didn't even really realize were paranormal when I was young, when I was growing up, and when I was just so interested in things. I spent a lot of time as a teenager exploring abandoned buildings and cemeteries and stuff like that. And I had friends who were into, witchcraft and black magic and Ouija boards and all that stuff. And I wasn't into that stuff, but I was very curious about it because I wanted to know what part of this is true and real, what part of this is bullshit. And, why are some people afraid of it and some aren't? Like, I've always just been a very curious kid.
Kind of making sense of it, more than anything. Yeah.
Yeah. And, at times it became a bit of an obsession because there were times where I was, 15 years old sneaking out of the house at night so that I could go to a cemetery in the middle of the night by myself, which I don't recommend. And it was crazy, but those were the things that I was like into doing. Like I wanted to experience stuff. And, and then that led into adulthood where, I ended up living in a haunted house, and then I ended up doing even more research and learning everything I could about the paranormal field. And then when I saw the TV show Ghost Hunters, I was like, oh, there are people who are having the same experiences as me, and there are people helping those people. I want to be one of those people who help.
Yeah.
So that's how I became a paranormal investigator for several years, and I still do it, 3 or 4 times a year now.
You worked with the Rise Up organization?
Yep, Rise Up Paranormal.
Yep. They're out of Rhode Island as well?
They are, yes. Yep. But for a while we had some branches in all different states, Mass and New Hampshire and Connecticut. But I think it's just Rise Up now. I don't think they really have branches anymore.
And with that, so if, somebody in their general area has a potential haunting or they think they have a haunted house, Rise Up would investigate the house and basically give them a synopsis of what they think it is.
Usually, it Rise Up, and I was a big part of this. I was a case manager, so we were very thorough about whether or not we really wanted to investigate someone's home. And back then, we're talking like 2005, 2006. It was like the peak of paranormal stuff. Everybody was getting comfortable having paranormal investigators come to their houses and stuff. So we wanted to make sure it was safe for us to go into a lot of these places. So we did extensive interviews. We had a historian who would do research on the home. Oh, wow. And, we would go into the house and we'd have a person on our team who knew psychology. So they'd be in the room looking around like, all right, are these people normal or are they out of their minds?
Yeah.
Is there some craziness here? Like, so we investigated the ones that we thought were safe to investigate and were legit, possibly paranormal. Sometimes we'd interview these people and we'd say, no, this isn't paranormal. I mean, they've got, 3 shelves worth of horror movies on the wall and a Ouija board leading up against the closet door. So we know that this is just them. It's potentially not really haunted.
Yeah.
So we pick and chose the ones that we thought were legit. And if it was ever a situation where there were kids involved or the family was just really scared to be home, we would definitely go in and do our best to figure out what was going on. And a lot of times we were able to comfort them, make them feel, happy with their home, maybe able to live with the situation or help to rectify it somehow. There was a lot involved. It wasn't just like you see the TV show, they get a phone call and they're in the van.
Yeah.
It wasn't like that for us.
There's a lot more setup.
Yeah, there was a lot of, we had them fill out forms and then we'd do an interview on the phone, then we'd interview them in person. There was a lot of back and forth before we'd even let any of the team members, into their house in the middle of the night.
And then to get to that point, though, where you were involved in investigations, did you just start, helping them out, or how did you get to the point where you were comfortable, like being a case manager in an organization like that? From your interest, as a child, being interested in spooky stuff.
I ended up with Rise Up Paranormal because, like I said, I was, in my adulthood, I found myself living in a haunted house, and I had crazy shit happening to me. And that led me to bring my paranormal interest to the next level, where I read every book, I watched every documentary, and I was like, I want to know what is really happening to me. I don't want to have to fear it if it's not something to fear. And so I had all this experience, I had all this knowledge, and I said, what do I do with this information now? And like I mentioned, that's when like TV shows like Ghost Hunters and Some of the other older ones were on TV, and I just saw that there were teams of people with knowledge and education on the topic going out to help people who were in need.
And even besides like the ghost shows, there was like, Unsolved Mysteries and X-Files. There was just that genre in general, whether it was fictional or not.
It was Ghost Hunters and Paranormal State were the two shows that caught my interest. So I said, all right, how do I get involved with one of these teams, And I knew that TAPS, the team from Ghost Hunters, was from Rhode Island. So I was like, well, I'm probably not going to get on their team. They probably get 1,000 emails a day of people wanting to join. But I did some research on the internet, and there were several other teams doing kind of the same thing. And I found one, Rise Up Paranormal. And based on their, descriptions and stuff on their website, I was like, these feel like the type of people that I'm going to go along with.
Yeah.
Because they were very scientific based. They were very skeptical, up to the point where it has to be paranormal because we've ruled out everything else type of people.
You want to prove it not paranormal before you just assume it's paranormal.
Yeah. So I sent them an email, and Ken DaCosta, who founded Rise Up Paranormal with his son Dave, he reached out to me and he said, hey, I told him in the email, here are some of my skills that might be good for your organization.
Yeah.
Let me know. And so they were like, yeah, we could use a guy like you on our team. Why don't you meet us here? We'll all hang out together for a little while and see if there's, any chemistry. And we were all best friends, right away. It was like a club. And we became like a family. And for the next 4 or 5 years, we were out there every weekend investigating somewhere.
Yeah.
And it was great. And we did some really great things. We helped a lot of people. We got to go to some very historic places that most people don't get to go to. We got to go to a lot of the places that the TV shows had gone to.
Yeah.
And we just, for years, we documented a lot of interesting paranormal stuff. And I'm still great friends with many of them. Some of them don't do it anymore.
Yeah.
Ken DaCosta still does it all the time. You've had Cody and Satori on here. I've investigated with them a bunch of times.
Yep.
And it was really a great, interesting time of my life. But it just got to the point where it wasn't a job, and it was taking up a lot of my time. And I started working a job early in the morning, so that was making it hard for me to stay awake during investigations.
Yeah.
And also, a lot of people don't realize that after the investigation, you spend many hours reviewing audio, reviewing video, reviewing photographs, reviewing your notes to try to figure out what something might have been paranormal, what might not have been paranormal. It takes hours and hours and hours of that. And so it's a very time-consuming thing to do if you're going to do it right.
People don't realize, we have friends at the Soul Seekers Paranormal. I do it very consistently now. And, I went to an investigation with them in Middlebar recently at the Mayflower Lodge Masonic Temple. Mm-hmm. I mean, they had 6 or 7 cameras set up, and they're there for 6 or 7 hours. So it's you do the math, it's a lot of hours of footage to watch.
Oh, yeah, because each one of those cameras was on for 6 hours. So you got to review 6 hours of video
from
for
each
each one of those cameras.
Whatever it is, yep.
And then even if you find something, now you've got to try to cross-connect the other camera to see if it also
exactly. If you can validate
audio
it with another
and
camera,
exactly.
And then you want to try and have somebody else with fresh eyes and ears look at it and see if they know what it is.
Or is it just because I watched this for 30 hours and now
after
I'm
a couple
hallucinating?
hours, you start going a little, ooh, everything seems paranormal, and it's not something you can do passively. You can't put on Netflix and review video and audio at the same time. You need to be completely focused.
Yeah, you might miss a blip across the screen. That's a big thing.
Yeah, so it's very, very time consuming. So if you're going to do it right, a lot of people, they don't do that. They don't put in that extra work. They just want the thrill. But us, we took it very seriously. We took it as we are providing a service to people to help people. And that was our first goal. And our second goal was we wanted to move the field of paranormal research to the next level, and I feel like we did a really good job with that. And Ken and his crew currently, they still do it.
Yep.
And they're still available, riseupparanormal.com. And they're fantastic people. And every once in a while I get to jump on an investigation with them, or one will fall into my lap and I'll be like, hey, Ken, I could use a couple of troops to come out and help me with this.
That's great. So you can kind of do like a pro bono deal with them or whatever. And then you have your book as well, right?
I did write a book
about equipment, right?
Yes, that was my pandemic lockdown project was
Nice.
I got nothing else to do. I think I'll try to write a book, you know. So I self-published a book called The Top 10 Best Tools for Ghost Hunting.
Okay.
Oh.
And I basically just wrote about each tool that I think are the ones you should use, and just went into different things, why you should use it, what makes it good, how to use it, and I give examples of how I've used it in investigations and how it benefited the investigation and stuff like that. And I was planning to follow it up with the 10 worst tools to use.
Yep.
Which probably would have sold 10 times as many books because people love the negative more than the positive.
That's true.
Your
That's true.
eyes.
And
Top one.
I
Your
still
eyes.
have a rough
Yeah.
draft of that I should put out someday and maybe sell them both together or something. But
So the
Nice.
top 10 best. Let's go down a few of those. What are your
God,
favorites?
I got to remember. Well,
There's the K2s, the REM pods.
I think I was like corny, and my first one was like your senses. You know,
Yeah.
something like that.
Well, that's not corny. That's a real thing. I mean,
It's
that's yeah,
legit. It's
yeah.
legit. But when you actually want to talk about the gadgets, to me, a quality audio recorder is your best bet to catch paranormal activity.
Yep.
To catch an EVP, electronic voice phenomena. That's where I have had the most luck, and it's the one that makes the most practical sense to me on a science basis.
Yep.
And then after that, it would be a quality video camera with, you know, infrared lighting on it so that you can see in the dark with it. But, you know, and in the book, I talk to you about all the technical stuff about how to use these things properly, you know, and then how to, you know, collect an EVP correctly and stuff.
The EVP thing is interesting to me because technology's changed so much with audio, specifically as far as analog to digital. And now there's like the digital, I'll say digital, I don't even want to say version, digital spin-offs of that, like the Spirit Talker and stuff. What's your thoughts on stuff like that, where it's like,
I don't like any of those talking boxes at all. To me, those are just novelty. Those are people who are seeking thrills.
Yep.
They use them on the TV shows because it's great TV, you know?
Yeah.
Because the box can say 100 words. The TV is going to show you the one that is kind of a cool word to have had it said. These machines are just random word spitters. It's a slot machine of words. That's all it is.
it's not really taking the EVP signals and turning it into a word per se.
No, not at all. Not in my opinion at all. And I have never had anybody in the paranormal field explain to me how spirits suddenly know how to use this device that was created less than a year ago to communicate words. You know, even if it's, you know, one
Ghosts
of
are like,
those.
finally, I can communicate.
Yeah, it's like I've been waiting for someone to invent this thing.
Yeah.
You know, or to have this app on their phone. No, I don't believe those things work. I don't think they do anything but taint your investigation because it is providing a power of suggestion to you. So instead of looking for evidence and finding a conclusion, you're trying to create a conclusion based on something that was spit
Randomized
out at you
words.
random. Yes.
Yep.
So you're in a house and all of a sudden the machine says blue and you're like, oh, maybe the lady was wearing a blue dress.
Yeah,
So now you're automatically just taking that word and saying that it's a legit piece of correct data when it's probably not.
Yep.
And most investigators don't use scientific methods when you need to compare all the negative results with the positive results. And if the negative results are outnumbering the positive results, then most likely those positive results were negative too. You just found a way to make them positive because you didn't want to have to doubt all of your data.
You connected the dots.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Yep.
Yeah.
all right, let's take it back a notch from there. So now let's compare an analog cassette tape recorder to a digital recorder.
Yeah.
Do you think you can get a proper EVP evidence from a digital recording platform?
I do, but I believe that there is more opportunity for false positives with a digital recorder because digital recorders can be interfered with by other electronics that are around it.
Yeah, they're Bluetooth. A lot of them are Bluetooth active, and
Some
things
of them,
like
yeah,
that.
yeah, and some of them, the inner workings of the recorder itself can sometimes distort audio, you know, because things are moving in there. If you have a defective battery or something like that, most digital recorders are smaller than the old analog ones. So a lot of times people are holding the recorder.
Yep.
And that can cause noise because you're kind of fumbling around a little or, you know, your thumb bumped it or something. So digital, you have to take all those things into consideration. But I believe all EVPs are based on something electronic.
Yep.
So if you have something that can pick up on something electronic, you have a chance of catching it on analog or on digital. And I'll give you an example of an experiment I did, which I've never seen anyone try to duplicate, even on like the TV shows or anything. And I wish somebody with a better brain than mine would do it. I took 2 duplicate digital recorders.
Yep.
And each one of them had a microphone jack if you wanted to use an external mic.
Yep.
So what I did was I took a wire from some headphones and just snipped off the end and jammed that into the mic jack for one of the recorders. So that disabled the microphone capability of that recorder. It would not record any sound at all.
Yep.
The other recorder was fine. I started them both at the same time recording in a room, and this was at a location where we had a lot of success in the past with EVPs.
Yeah. Call it guaranteed activity.
Wasn't guaranteed,
But yeah,
for sure.
but I mean, I guess as close as you can
get.
Yeah.
It was one of the places where we had a lot of luck. So I placed both the recorders next to each other in the same room and let them just record for like 3 hours each. And at one point on the recorder that still had a mic that worked, I caught what sounded like an EVP. You couldn't hear what it said, but it sounded like a voice in the background. And what I did is I took the audio from both of those and put them into an audio program on my computer so that I could match up the waves for each one. And in the exact same spot that recorder recorded a voice, and you can see the wave blip up, the one without the microphone, which was doing nothing but just tiny little static because there was no microphone, had a distortion blip at the same exact moment.
Wow.
Which tells me something electronic affected both of those recorders, but only one of them had a microphone capability to record the sound itself. But that tells me that the sound was produced by something electromagnetic because it affected both of the devices.
Huh.
Wow.
That's a brilliant experiment, really.
Yeah.
And I've brought this up to a few of your television investigators like Steve Gonzalez, Dustin Parry, and I've said, look, if you guys ever get a chance to duplicate this, I would love to see the results.
Yeah,
because
that's a great
I only did it
experiment.
once, so I don't have anything to compare it to, but boy, it's hard to dismiss the coincidence of that.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, the exact same timestamp, you see the wave jump on both of them, but only one of them had sound because only one of them had a microphone. So what causes that distortion? It's got to be electronic.
I think
So they both had the same jump. One just had sound.
Yes.
Wow.
but it was the exact same moment. So, because the idea of VVP is that it's an electromagnetic field that's causing the, you know, so it doesn't necessarily have to be sound in order to create a reaction.
Well, in theory, sound is vibration.
Yep.
And the vibration from sound is by something, you know, causing it to vibrate. So EVPs don't really make sense as audio because it's not really vibration. It's some sort of an electronic imprint of some sort.
Yep.
So I don't know why spirits would know how to do that. I don't know how they're able to generate the energy to do it.
Or
But
it's like,
to
do
me,
they not
that's
even
what-
know how to do it, and they're just communicating, and for whatever reason, these devices pick it up?
Yeah, I don't know. But, you know, there are other electronic devices and tools that we use that seem to go along the same way, like your, you know, EMF detectors, K2 meters, things like that.
The K2s and the REM pods are the ones that I found the most.
Yeah, and those
Intriguing.
all work off the same idea. So, you know, there are a lot of times where we have caught EVPs at the same exact time that a K2 meter started to light up. You know, and it's like, all right, something electronic was happening there, and it just happened to happen at the same time that we caught this voice on audio. So, you know, all that evidence, if you will, call it data, tells me that something electronic is happening, you know, electronic fields around us to cause these EVPs. And it's hard to explain, it's hard to understand, but that's where I think the science of this should be leading.
I feel like the problem with the television shows is like people's attention spans is getting shorter. So the format of an experiment like that would be tough to put into a 30-minute television show, which is actually only 12 minutes.
Nerds. It would be for the nerds on this.
Yeah, but that's the thing, though. It's like that's where YouTube comes into play. It's like you can do these long-form things on YouTube with no limitations, whereas like on a TV show, I just watched...
TV shows, you know, the producer's like, this is boring, no one's going to watch it. And they're right. I mean,
Somebody
TV
throw a
is
baseball,
TV.
make some noise, do something.
Yeah, I mean...
Did you watch the Expedition X Bridgewater Triangle episode that came out recently?
I watched the show. I haven't watched that episode yet. I'm not up to it yet. But
It was rough.
was it? Did they,
Yeah,
they take a lot of liberties on that show.
Yeah, the problem I
Suddenly.
had with it was, they're doing
The
their
blonde girl screams every episode.
yeah. Well, that and they were doing their like background information segment at the beginning with the history, and it's like, I don't understand why this paranormal history here. There's no historical significance to this location at all, and it's like
what?
What about the King Philip's War? Like,
Yeah.
are you kidding me?
Yeah.
So
There are people who wrote literal books
Yeah.
about it.
like the word for
some research.
word for word was there's no historical significance to this
I
location.
can already tell I'm
I'm
going to
like,
be very
"Ugh."
disappointed by the episode. Like,
So that
like
was
most of
tough.
it, which
And
sucks
then-
because I'm a huge Josh Gates fan.
Yeah.
I like Josh. I think he has discovered some of the most paranormal things ever on record on his past show, Destination Truth.
Yes.
But these new shows, he has totally given into the gimmicks and just the ratings and, because there are no more shows, paranormal shows anymore. They've
Yeah.
all gone to YouTube and TikTok. And so he's just doing whatever they say so that he can stay on TV, I'm thinking.
yeah.
So that's why they hired the blonde girl, because she's pretty and she knows how to fake scream at everything.
I think that the landscape has just changed as far as people's attention spans.
Yeah, absolutely.
In what you can,
Yep.
there's so much
the
less.
current generation grew up with all these ghost shows and all these paranormal things. It's not paranormal to them. It's normal.
That's
to them.
normal.
Yeah.
That's the thing.
They don't care
It's normalized
anymore.
now. Yeah,
It's
yeah.
like, all right, big deal. Show me something that's scary. You
Yeah.
know?
Show
they're
me
not,
something
They're not
new.
interested in the history and the technology and the science of it. They're just like, no, have it throw something at someone. You know,
Yeah.
that's all they care
Yeah.
about.
I want Poltergeist 10.
Yes. Yep.
Yeah.
So, I mean, we grew up with, ghost hunters and, like you said, unsolved mysteries and all these shows. And it's like, I grew up wanting to know what's happening, why it's happening, but the newer generation, they're just like, let's go watch it happen.
Yeah. I need the quick 5-minute thrill and then
Yes.
scroll on to the next thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a weird landscape with where all this stuff's going.
So I'm the old guy now who's yelling, get off my lawn. I'm trying to do an EVP session.
Yeah. And that's the thing. It's like you want to take. Sometimes, like the spirit talkers will say something that seems super relevant, but then I always found that K2s and the REM pods more compelling when
Yeah, the whole spirit talker
Yeah.
thing. There's no science to
when,
back that
when
up.
you're
No, there's
asking
none.
a series of questions and it's like you're getting nothing, and then it's like, do you want me to do A? And then all of a sudden the REM pods in the whole
Yeah.
room are like boop, 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 boop.
Yeah,
It's like
yeah,
that's
yeah.
Yeah.
okay, like
Yeah.
that's cool. Like
Yeah, they
I don't
have
know, I
to-
feel something
They
there.
have to do a lot of clever editing on the TV shows, obviously.
Yeah.
Sure.
And I don't like to go as far as say they're faking it, but they're certainly
Maybe a
taking
reach.
a lot of
They can
liberties.
enhance
with
it a touch.
Yeah.
But they're just all desperately clinging to whatever time they can get. I mean, there's the expedition shows, and then there's Ghost Adventures. That's pretty much all that's left.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All the good shows are gone.
Yeah, you get a couple specials around the holiday season, but that's about it.
Yeah, even that anymore. I
Yeah,
mean,
and a
Ghost
lot of them
Hunters-
they're reruns from 10
Ghost
years
Hunters
ago.
have been gone for like 3 years.
Yeah,
A few of the others, they've been gone for a couple. So, it also, a bunch of different celebrities started doing it too. And that
Yeah.
really, anytime like B celebrities start doing something, they ruin it for everyone else.
That's
Yeah.
true. So tell us about your show, My Paranormal Story. The premise of that basically is each episode is an individual story that you personally experienced, right?
Yes, it's exactly how to explain it. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
I was at a point where I just kept finding myself telling stories all the time to people, and I'd tell a story to somebody, and then 2 weeks later that person would be like, oh, tell my friend that story you told me,
Yeah.
and I'd be like telling all these stories all the time. And it was, right around 2015-ish, 2017-ish, something like that, where podcasts were just starting to become known. you
Yeah.
know? So I was really interested in the medium. I'm like, I kind of want to do a podcast, but I don't know what to do. And I don't want to just do a podcast about nothing. I want to have a genre, And then I was like, oh, I should just tell my stories on the podcast, and then I'll have them on Rex. They do this all
Yep.
the time.
Yeah. See,
Rocky Point.
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah, the jingle from the commercial.
Yeah, that was great. And when you were in the quarry episode, like when you heard like that dragging sound,
Oh, yeah.
it's like it almost sounded like somebody dragging a shovel. Like little touches like that were so cool.
Yeah. I started adding a little bit of special effects just to really, paint the picture. Some
Yeah. And I think with a story like that, like I was talking to Mark about it, and the format's obviously so different than the shit show we have here. So it's like it's so much more calculated, or it's almost like an audiobook story.
Yeah.
It's just so different, but I think those touches
I
are
was
what really
influenced
make it.
by Aaron Mahnke from the podcast Lore.
Okay.
If you ever heard
Okay.
of it,
Yeah.
it's been one of the biggest podcasts for many, many years.
It reminded me of like some true crime podcasts I've listened to as well.
Yeah, a little bit like
Similar
that
idea.
too.
Yep.
But I was also just trying to go for the feeling of just a few people sitting around a campfire and somebody's
Yeah.
telling you a spooky story.
Yeah. It's
I
like
like
a
that.
ghost
Yeah.
story at a camping
That's
trip.
what I was trying to go for, and I wanted it to be, something that anybody could listen to, and there would be, some spook value to it, some entertainment value. It's very personal, but also I wanted it to be educational too. So I try to explain what I think is happening and what I was doing or what device I was using and stuff. So I tried to make it a little bit educational too. I'd put warnings in there. Hey, I did this. I don't think you should do it. I shouldn't have done it. Things like that. Like I shouldn't have snuck into that cemetery in the middle of the night. So please don't do what I'm doing.
The little historical bits are nice, and like the first one I listened to was actually the Lad School, because I'm like, oh, I know that place. I gotta listen to that one.
Yeah.
But yeah, same idea. Like we've had urban explorers on, and it's like, I went to this place. I have some amazing photos from there. Unfortunately, like people go in and destroy these places and ruins it for everybody.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, definitely. And, I always tell people don't trespass for these things. And I'm a hypocrite because I did trespass on some of these places. But you really shouldn't, because, you're eventually going to ruin it for everyone else, because they're going to end up fencing it off or putting in security or knocking it down.
Yep.
But also you're putting yourself at risk, because, a lot of these old dilapidated buildings, there are a lot of physical dangers in there.
Oh yeah.
You can get hurt.
The practicality of the building falling apart under your feet.
Oh, absolutely. And I've been in places like that where it's like, wow, we need to get the heck out of here before we fall through this floor or something,
Yeah. It's like Austin telling us he was carrying Nutri-Grain bars to give to the homeless people, that were living in the buildings he was in. It's like, those people could attack
we
you.
had an investigation one time where I went into the basement and I smelled what smelled like rubber burning. Ugh. And this was like an old building. It was what's the name of it again? It's in Cranston. I can't think of the name of it. Anyway, we were in the basement, and there was like a plug that was overheating in the basement of this place, and it was like sparking, like this was about to catch fire. And
That's
I'm
crazy.
like, holy shit! I called Ken, and I'm like, get down here. We got to do something about this. And we're like,
Yeah.
well, like this place would have gone up in smoke if it hadn't been for us investigating that particular night.
Wow.
So dangers can happen. You have to do this carefully. And you see all these YouTube videos now, and I'm like, oh, it's only a matter of time before somebody gets really hurt doing this.
Yep. And I'm sure people do.
Yeah.
Hurt,
Well,
arrested,
didn't they have
whatever
that
it may
kid
be.
at the armory that fell through the floor and fell down like 4 stories?
Oh,
That was
yeah.
a couple years ago.
Yeah.
They ended up knocking the whole building down because of that.
Yep. It is pretty crazy. So, with the investigations and the stories, you said you've kind of taken some time off from this. Do you intend to go back to the My Paranormal Story format?
I do. My last episode was in like December of last year.
Yep.
And I was like, all right, I'm going to take a couple months off because I've got, other things I'm focusing on. I had some new projects I was taking on. And then
you have other podcasts. You have the trivia podcast.
I had a trivia podcast for a little while, and I had to put that on the back burner.
Yep.
And then I had another paranormal podcast that was me telling stories about celebrities who have had paranormal experiences.
Very nice.
Yep.
And that one was doing well for a little while, but it's just like, you guys know, podcasts take a lot of time.
Yeah.
It's not just the time that you're broadcasting.
Right, no.
And the way I do it is I'm telling a story, so I have to write, and I have to produce, and I have to record, and I have to score it, and I have to put it all together and edit it, and then I have to put it up, and then I have to promote it, and I have to make artwork for it.
Yeah, it's tons and tons of
and
work.
now I was just doing it alone. I was a one-man show, so it was a lot of work. So trying to do 2 podcasts was like, oh,
Yeah.
this is a lot. So I ended up taking down the celebrity one.
Yep.
But it's I have so many back burner ideas of things that I want to do someday, and eventually I'll get back to it maybe.
Yeah.
But the main one, My Paranormal Story, things just got in the way this year. I wasn't planning on taking this whole year off. My mom took sick, passed away recently. So that was a few months of, just focusing on nothing but her.
Yeah.
And then my comedy career took a couple different different directions. So I was trying to put energy into those. And before I knew it, I was like, oh my God, it's already Halloween. I haven't put out a new episode.
Yeah, it's Halloween, and then it's Thanksgiving and Christmas, and the year's over.
And I didn't want to just throw up a half-assed episode either, you know. And I've always been a stickler of, if I can't give my something 100% of my attention, then I'm not going to do it, because I don't want to just do it for the sake of doing it. I want it to be quality.
Totally agree.
You know, and I'm my own worst critic, so that's hard for me. So, but my intentions are, hopefully maybe beginning of the year, I'll start making new episodes again, because I've got 3 or 4 in the early stages already.
Nice.
And it's just a matter of focusing my attention to those.
Yep.
You know, but I'm lucky that I have a lot of different opportunities for different things to do. So sometimes I have to say no to certain things.
No, that makes sense. You got to prioritize.
If I ever don't get back to My Paranormal Story, it's still up there. You can still go and listen to all the episodes. There's like over 80 episodes.
Yeah.
So, you know, if you've never listened, you got a chance to binge a whole bunch. And like I said, they're short, 15 to 30-minute episodes. You can binge 2 or 3 of them in a car ride.
I like the format, because on my ride to work and back, I listened to like 4 episodes. It was great.
Yeah. So, you know, so it's still up there to listen to, and I'm proud of that. And I have no intentions of taking it down, but I'm hoping to maybe January have a new episode up there, and maybe that will, you know, get my juices flowing to keep going. You know? Like all of a sudden it's got thousands of downloads up, like, oh yeah, I like that.
I'll do this
adrenaline.
again.
I'm going to do that.
Yeah.
And I've been trying to write a book for this, and I start it and then I never get back to it. But I want to write a book of like 20 or 25 short stories from the podcast.
Yep.
You know, like 20 or 25 of my favorite episodes, and just tell the story in book form, but, you know, add a lot more detail, be a lot more elaborate, maybe even remember some things that I didn't remember when I was writing the episode 6 years ago for the podcast.
Yeah.
And I'll be able to add things like pictures, diagrams, whatever.
Yeah,
you know
little
what I mean?
maps or whatever.
So it'll just be, you know, if you're a fan of the podcast, the book will be like the next level thing for it.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, like a deep dive on
so,
some of your
you know,
favorite
so I'd like to
episodes.
do that at some point too, but, you know, that's just as time consuming, if not more, writing a book.
It's all just time.
Yeah.
It's, you know, I just need to like go to a mountain cabin for a year and just bang out all these projects.
Oh, if only.
Yeah.
My wife's already packing the bags
Yeah,
now.
check in. You can go now.
Get out of here.
So, with that said, how do you have time to fit a comedy career into this? So
I don't,
yeah,
but somehow I do.
yeah.
Yeah.
So, what was the start of that? I mean, obviously, you know, being funny as a child and stuff is one thing, but when did you say, like, I'm gonna go, you know, do an open mic or do an improv or something?
Being a stand-up comedian was like always like a secret dream of mine since I was a kid. You know, when most people our age were collecting, you know, cassettes or CDs of their favorite bands, I was collecting them all of my favorite comedians.
Yep.
You know, so I had my Eddie Murphys and my Dice Clays and my, you know,
George Carlin
Howie
cassettes were the
Mandel's. You know, I
best.
had every George Carlin album.
Of course.
and,
Yeah.
You know, so, you know, I was influenced by stand-up comedy more than anything. And I always worked comedy into anything I was doing. You know, I worked in radio a lot, so I worked on a lot of morning shows, so I got to write, you know, bits and jokes for morning shows. And then when the internet became a thing, I started my own website right away. And it was basically me writing funny blogs before blogs were blogs. Like,
Yeah.
I was
Okay.
blogging
Yeah,
before we called them that.
Yeah.
And I had this website called Commentary.
Oh,
where,
that's a great
where
name.
every few days I would just write this funny little rant about something.
Yeah.
And a few of those ended up becoming stand-up comedy bits later in years. So
That's
comedy's
like
just
Mark's
always
whole
been a
life
part
is
of it.
just funny rants.
Just funny rants. Right? You can
Usually,
make some money off of those.
I guess so. Yeah.
I'm telling you. But for me, stand-up comedy started. I was working at when I mentioned earlier, I was working at Channel 10, and a good friend of mine, Kim, who I'd known from past radio jobs, but we also worked together at Channel 10. She had just, for shits and giggles, took a comedy class. She had no intention of going into comedy. She just wanted to do it for the fun of it. And then she did her stand-up at her graduation show, and then she never did it again. But after she finished the class, she insisted that I take it because she'd known me for a long time, and she knew that I wrote comedy, and she always encouraged me to do stand-up, and I just never had the nerve to do it.
Yeah.
So she came into my office one day. She's like, I want you to take the class I took. It's 8 weeks long. She goes, I'm going to pay for it. She goes, so if you don't go, you're wasting my money, and I'm going to be pissed. And I'm like, okay.
That's a compelling argument.
I'll go to the class. Yeah.
All right, I
Because
guess
she
I'll
was
go.
like, you're going to be sitting in a room with people who all think like you. She's like, and this should inspire something in you to move
Well,
forward.
that's
in
fucking
comedy.
scary. I don't know if I want to do that.
Yeah. So I took the class. I ended up paying for it myself. I didn't leave her on the hook for that.
Yeah.
It was a comedy boot camp with Frank O'Donnell, and I did that for 8 weeks. There was like 20 of us in the class, and then we did a big graduation show where we each got to do like 5 minutes of stand up at Catch a Rising Star when it was at Twin River Casino in Lincoln.
Yep.
And from there, it just took off for me. Like, I loved it. I loved every part of it. Loved the writing, loved the performing. And I mean, I wasn't good, but I
you enjoyed it.
But I wanted to be good. I wanted to work at it, and it just consumed me. So I just started writing and performing and getting up as much as I could. And before I knew it, I was doing, open mics and showcases at the Comedy Connection. And John Parada was booking me to host some of his shows. And I just kept doing it. And I'm going on 16 years now. I haven't stopped. I just keep doing it. And,
Wow.
in 2018, I decided I'm just going to focus on comedy. I'm leaving all my jobs, and I'm just going to focus on comedy because I'll have to work that much harder to make sure that I'm paying my bills.
Yeah.
Because if you want to be good at something, you can't be working another job and then hope to be good at that. You have to throw yourself into the deep end and then learn to swim.
Sink or swim.
So that's basically what I did, and that's what I've been doing since. And I still love it. I love comedy. I love when I write a new joke and it's working, and you just keep doing it, and you meet so many great people, and you work with so many cool comedians, and I love it. And that's how it happened. It was because of my friend Kim insisting that I take the class. And so always.
So that was like 16 years ago now.
Yeah, it's 2010. So it's coming up on 16 years.
Yep, that's
February,
awesome.
it'll be 16.
And since 2018, you've been doing comedy essentially full time.
Pretty much, yeah.
That's
I mean, I
awesome.
started doing my own branch of Funny for Funds.
Yep.
Which is a fundraising company that does stand-up comedy to help people raise money for their causes. Lots of youth sports leagues and PTOs, and anybody who's raising money for a nonprofit or a charity, we will book comedy shows for them.
That's sweet.
Oh, that's pretty great.
That company was started over 10 years ago, and I was right in there on day one with Bill Simus and Mike Murray, who started the company. And then when I moved to Mass, I just opened up my own branch up in Massachusetts, up in the South Coast.
Nice.
And, so I do, probably like 10 to 15 of my own shows every year, and then maybe 10 or 15 shows that come in through the main Funny for Funds comedy. So that keeps me busy, and it pays well. So, I'm able to, that definitely helps.
Yeah.
Because the money's in booking shows, not in performing.
Yeah.
Right.
When you're at this level,
Yep.
So that helps. And then I just recently became the new director of the Rhode Island Comedy Hall of Fame.
Oh, awesome.
So I'm working to build that up and take it to the next level and try to do shows and roasts and get some new people inducted into the Comedy Hall of Fame for Rhode Island.
Yep.
So I've got a lot of different, what do they say? A lot of different pokers in the fire or something.
Yep.
Yeah.
What does that
Irons
say?
in the fire.
Irons in the fire. That's
yeah.
what it is. Yeah.
Yeah, and like you said, Comedy Connections right near here. Boston has a handful of places. So that New England's
Good to laugh.
pretty good.
It's
Yep.
good to laugh.
Yeah, a lot of great comedians in this area in New England. Boston, Providence, Hartford.
Yep.
Even Vermont has like some great comedy scenes. Like New England's like the best place to do comedy.
Yeah.
Most people will talk about New York or LA, Chicago, but you can make a living doing stand-up comedy in New England
Yeah.
and be working every weekend. Be working every Thursday, Friday, Saturday if you really hustle and you're good at
Yeah.
it. There are a lot of people who do. And you can't do that in those other places because it's just too big, or there's too many people doing it and not enough locations doing it. But
Yeah, if
New
there's 100
England
people in
is
5
always a
clubs,
place,
there's not.
Yeah.
How do you figure out what material, like when you write new jokes and stuff that are gonna something you haven't even tested out? Like, have you ever just written something you're like, I'm gonna throw this into the Today Show and see how it runs?
Yeah, that's basically what you do.
Yeah.
Is you come up with an idea. For me, every comedian's a little different, but for me, I come up with the idea, and I'm always in my head writing jokes. 100% of the time, it's what I do. And then when I feel like one might really have potential, I'll write it down, and then I'll spend some time writing it out and trying to form it into a joke, and see what it goes with. And
Well, I mean, the punchline, you might have the punchline, and it might take you 2 weeks to develop the build-up and the timing of it, right?
Yep. for me, I kind of see things as there's potential there for something funny.
Yeah.
And so I'll focus on it and try to just suck the funny out of it and turn it into a joke or a bit.
Yep.
So, and a lot of it is related to things in my life. You know, I do a lot of material about getting married and, you know, and
I was going to ask
and
because
my wife.
a lot
and
of
stuff.
comedians have their styles, right? So some people are political people, some people are
Yep.
day-to-day people, like lifestyle stuff. Some people are, you know, topical, whatever. So like, where do you think you fall mostly?
My stuff is just, I just talk about everyday stuff that most people deal with,
Yep.
you know, getting fired from a job or, you know, getting into a new relationship or, you know, sex and you
Everyday
know, whatever.
stuff
Yeah.
is the stuff that you know about. You know,
and
trying to
that's
make
it.
something up that's
Sure.
not real.
And lately my jokes have been kind of, you know, comparing how things were when I was younger compared to younger people today type stuff,
Yeah.
you know, things like that. And, but it's all, I try to do all very relatable, you know, stuff. And, you know, my catchphrase was always, my material is about life just out loud.
Yeah.
And that's basically what I write about. Yeah, I'll try it out on stage. Once I've got it like an idea in my head, all right, I think this is going to be funny. And writing's my favorite part of the process. I've always been good at the writing part. Performing's the part I've always had to work on.
Yep.
I love the writing part. So I will write it and write it and write it till I feel like it's finally tuned. And then I'll bring it to the stage and I'll try it out. And I'll be, all right, it didn't work like that. Maybe I need to move a couple of words around. I'll try it another time and try it another time. And, you know, you sneak the new stuff in between the stuff that you know is already working.
Yeah, you get a
know,
couple hits. It's like you can
yeah,
mix
so,
them in on
you
the
know,
same
it's
topic.
like, you know, I know I got a good fastball and a curveball. Let's see if the slider will work now. You know, I'm working on this. So, sorry, sports analogy.
He's
John
fried.
just
That's
tweaked
it.
over there. Didn't know what was going on. Yeah.
So, you know, so I'll try it out on stage. But some comedians, they won't even write it. They just come up with the idea and boom, take it right to the stage.
Well, that's what I was going to say.
and work it out on stage.
Based on the way you do the My Paranormal Story podcast, you obviously write, your descriptions are so vivid in that, as far as like describing, you know, the dust coming off the walls on the quarry or something like that. When you write a joke, are you writing every word of the sentence, or it's like, I'm going to tell a joke about this thing and you just kind of riff it?
I do at first, and then I rewrite it smaller, and then rewrite it smaller, and rewrite it smaller, because comedy is different from the written word, where comedy, you want to tell it as if you were just telling it.
Yeah.
And you wouldn't use all those big descriptive words if you were just talking to somebody about something, you know?
Yeah.
So you want to just write it, and get it down to as few words as possible, you know, without it losing its meaning. And that's what I try to do.
Is that hard for you? Because I feel like the way you write on your podcast is so descriptive, which to me is a skill I don't have. Is it hard for you to take the opposite approach when you're writing a joke, when it's like, I need to strip this down to bare bones?
I wouldn't say it's hard, but it's more of a fun challenge.
Okay.
You know, writing comedy for me is like, you know, writing a song or a poem. You just have to pick the right words and put them in the right place, you know, and just get it so that it's so tight so that when you deliver it, it's just bing, bam.
Yeah. At the end of the day, you had the punchline. It's the delivery to make it.
Yeah, the delivery
work.
is just a whole other part of it. And sometimes I feel like I've got it nailed on paper, and then I take it to stage, and I'm like, yeah, this isn't working at all.
When you're in a comedy club or something, and you know there's like 3 other comedians or whatever, and after you see their set or they see your set, do they ever like say, hey, you know, the punchline there was fantastic, but you
Yeah, at times.
gotta kind of bring it in this way?
Yeah, I mean, there are...
And do you do the same to them? Like, hey,
Yeah, there
you know,
are comedians that I'm close to or I'm comfortable saying,
Yeah.
hey, that new joke you're doing, have you ever tried it like this?
Right.
You know, and vice versa, they'll do it to me too. You know, when you're close with somebody, you can do that. It's not really something you want to do to a comedian you're not close to.
Sure.
Because sometimes it comes off as a little too cocky, like, hey, I'm better than you, so you should do it my way, type of thing.
Yeah.
And it's like every joke is different anyways. If I tell a joke and then you tell that same joke, it might not be as funny coming from you as it came from me, because we both have different mannerisms. We both have different inflections, different ways of telling stories or telling a joke. So you might take that same joke and write it a different way to make it funny for the way you present the joke. So jokes are kind of original in that way. You know, that's why we're able to tell jokes about the same topic, but we all put our own spin on it.
Of course.
You know, like every comedian has jokes about flying on an airplane.
Yep.
You know
Yeah.
what I mean? And, you know, but George Carlin's jokes aren't the same ones as, you know, Gaffigan's jokes, but they're
Right.
the same premise, you know?
Right.
Yep.
So everybody just puts their own personal spin on it. And if you make it personal about you, about your experience, then you don't have to worry about it being someone else's joke already, you know, most times. So, yeah, but I love working with other comedians to write together. That's one of my favorite things to do. Is we used to have a thing we would do. We used to have writing circles.
I was
4
just
or
going to
5
ask
of
you
us.
this. Have you ever written a joke where you're like, you know, this won't work for my set. I know.
Yeah, I've given jokes away.
Yeah, yeah,
Oh, yeah,
yeah.
yeah. I gave a joke away one time, and like months down the line, me and that comedian that I gave the joke to were in a comedy contest together.
Oh, wow.
And he did that joke, and it was
And it
huge, and
killed.
he ended up beating me in the contest. I'm like, I lost to my own fucking joke.
Oh, wow.
This is bullshit.
That's funny.
That would have been my like what was another concession speech.
Oh, yeah,
Concession
exactly.
speech. Like I know I lost, but at least I lost to myself.
Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
yeah.
But I've written jokes about like I remember one time I was trying to write a bit about what it was like growing up with a single mom, and all the jokes about, you know, I'd be waiting up for her to come home and stuff like that. And then I was like, I remember.
I feel like it'd be funnier if you were like me and my dad would just wait for my single mom to come home.
Well, I ended up trying the jokes out, and they just weren't working. And I was
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
you know what? These jokes are meant for a single mom to be telling, not
Yes.
for the son
Oh,
of
right,
the single
of
mom.
course.
So I ended up giving them away to some single moms that I knew, and I don't know if they ended up using them or not. But they were comedians who just happened to be single moms, and
Yeah.
and same thing. I wrote a bunch of jokes one time about my GPS. Gives me directions based on my favorite food places. And I'm like, oh, this would be better if it was a fat guy telling
Yeah,
these
yeah,
jokes,
yeah.
you know? Not that I'm skinny, but like, you know, a guy who does fat
Yeah.
guy jokes.
Oh, yeah.
Damn it.
You know, it'd be like, you know, left turn at the Dunkin' Donuts, you
Yep.
know, right turn at Arby's or whatever. And so I
Remember
was
where
like, I'm
the
going to give that
Chinese
away to someone.
restaurant used to be. Go over there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, you know, and then I've actually had other comedians hire me to write jokes for them too. So, and you do
I
that.
feel like that's the niche.
There's
right?
some
Like,
money in that. Yeah.
You get into that like writing for other comedians kind of.
Yeah, because not every comedian is good at writing,
Right.
but they
There's
want
great
good,
performers
they
that are
want,
good at
but
writing.
they want
Right.
to do comedy.
That goes to the opposite of what you were
So,
saying, where you were a better
you know.
writer than a performer.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
then that.
So
might
there have
be-
been a
yeah.
few, and you do it anonymously. You don't ever say who you wrote the jokes for or what jokes you wrote, and
Sure.
you know, and
Well,
it's
you
up to
know,
them.
and that's
If,
all that
it's up to
matters.
them if they want to tell people,
Right,
but
right.
Yeah.
but just about every time they want it to feel like that it was their joke, they wrote it. So
Yeah.
so you
No,
keep that anonymous.
And I think it's the way that's going now is changing too. Like Nikki Glazer was like pretty open about her like writer's circle for the Tom Brady roast jokes.
Oh, yeah.
And some of those jokes were great. Her delivery was great. But she was like, "Oh yeah, like no, so and so wrote this joke for me."
Yeah, a lot
She
of
goes,
those
I had
roasts
like
have
7
a
or
room
8
full of
jokes.
writers.
She's had like 7 or 8 jokes. She's like, I can't even say them on the air, really.
Yeah,
She ended
yeah,
up saying them like Howard Stern.
Yeah, exactly.
yeah.
He's like, I can't do this now, but
Writing for roasts is very hard because the jokes have to be very sharp.
Yeah.
And the sucky thing
so
about
specific.
roast jokes is, they're so specific that you're using them once and you're never
That's
using them
it.
again.
right,
Yeah.
yeah,
you
yeah,
know?
yeah.
And
Burns
you are
out
on-
fast.
You are on a beyond national stage, right? So those jokes don't even have to. They have to be the sharpest fucking shit.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they, just like award shows, roasts, they have a bank of writers who are
Oh,
just
yeah.
literally writing jokes that they know are going to be used once and never used again.
And it's like they might not even know who's gonna say the jokes. It's like these are just jokes for this
a
event.
lot of times.
Right.
I mean,
Yeah,
for
yeah.
someone like Nikki Glazer, she knows how to write jokes. So she's trying to fine tune them because there's no way to fine tune jokes for a roast because it's a roast. You can't just go to an open mic and do jokes about the people who are going to be at the roast because it's going to be not funny because they're not
there.
And then you listen to them
So-
afterwards, and they're like, "Fuck, I had 3 jokes I couldn't use because someone before me did it." And you're not prepping everyone's sets, right? So like,
Yeah.
or prefacing everyone's
Right.
set. So like, someone does 3 of the jokes you were gonna do, you're like, "Fuck me." I
Well,
gotta
yeah,
have
and let's
some
face it,
backups.
a lot of like the jokes about like Gronk being stupid.
Right,
It's like
everyone's
it's like,
gonna do a Gronk
It's like,
stupid
yeah,
joke, of
yeah.
course. Yeah.
Everyone has like a Gronk's a big dumb
Well,
animal joke.
she's the only one that really
Yeah.
shit on him for being dumb, and then Kevin Hart being the host had to like still capitalize on her joke, which I
Yeah.
thought was poor
Oh man,
taste.
that big Gronk
I was
joke
like,
is so good.
it
though.
was great. It was
Or
great.
Shaq's dick.
The Bitcoin one.
But I was like, I thought
yeah.
Kevin Hart should just not even acknowledge that and just went up being a host like he's fucking supposed to.
Yeah.
You know?
My favorite joke she did was was about her boyfriend being in the audience.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, what a good roast that was. So as far as events, what's your favorite type of event you do? Do you like doing events with like a lot of other comics? Do you like more of like an intimate event where there's like just a couple?
Yeah, I don't like there being too many comics. I mean, I'm okay with it. I mean, you just go up and do your time, and that's all. I get impatient, so if there's a lot of comedians and I'm towards the end, I'm sitting there like, I want to get up. I want to go.
Yeah.
It's like, I like you guys. You guys are funny, but it's like I'm focusing on what I want to do. And,
I'd rather go and then watch you. Yeah.
And then, and then also you sit there and you're watching the audience. It's like, all right,
They're getting tired.
they're getting tired, and by the time I get up there, they're going to be all laughed out. Because Jerry Seinfeld says it best: too much of something that's good, it's a very thin line before it becomes bad.
Yeah.
And it's like, if you have too much cake is great, but if you have just a little bit too much cake, it ruins the whole experience. And comedy is like that. If you do comedy show for like an hour and a half, 2-3 comedians, that's pretty good.
Yeah.
But if you go to 2 hours, 2.5 hours, people are like, oh, is this ever going to end?
They're trying to watch it.
And
Like,
it gets to be
the
too much.
babysitter, I got to pay her more money. Like,
Yeah. And people, like you were saying earlier, people have short attention spans now too. So for me, I think a shorter, tighter show is better than your longer shows. But I end up on the longer shows too, because you take the work as it comes, and you do the best you can, And so, I think 3 comedians, each doing 25 minutes each or so, or if you've got a headliner who's going to do an hour, then you got 2 openers doing 15-20. That to me is like the perfect size show.
What's your like ideal set length for your material?
For me right now, I love doing just a solid like 25-30 minutes.
Yep.
Which usually puts me in the feature middle spot of a 3-person show. I have enough material to headline, but it's tough to get into headlining because there's so many headliners.
Yeah.
And it's the middle spot is a hard one to fill. So I end up doing that spot a lot.
I almost feel like the middle spot's better in a way, because it's like that by the end, if it's not like a super well-known headliner, the middle person to the headliner person
spotlight,
could be essentially the same to the audience.
There's less pressure on the middle spot because the host has to get this crowd warmed up.
Yeah.
So
and the show could go bad just by having a bad host.
Oh yeah.
And then the headliner, if he sucks, well, everyone's going to be disappointed because that's who you paid money for to see. That middle guy, if you suck, the headliner's hopefully going to save it.
Yeah.
Or the host is going to come up and save it. But if you're a middle person, you shouldn't suck because you should have been doing this for a long time now, where you've got a solid 20 to 30 minutes.
Yeah.
So I'm very comfortable in that middle spot. I'd be happy headlining if people book me for it. But
So let's like 3-4 comedians, you guys, shows are coming up like it's before, like, you guys are getting on stage. Do you guys like kind of like talk about everyone, what like material wise, like so no one's repeating themselves, or
sometimes,
is it quiet because like you said earlier, like
most of the time
you could have the same joke and
most
then
of the time
deliver
I'm
it
working
differently.
with comedians that I've worked with a lot, so I know their material, they know mine, and sometimes we have jokes that repeat. Like I do jokes about having to wear a CPAP at night, because of my sleep apnea. And there are a lot of other comedians who do the CPAP jokes, but we all have our own spin on it.
Yeah.
So, so it's up to the next comedian. All right, he already did the CPAP joke. Do I want to do mine? Is mine as funny as his? It's going to be too much, So, you kind of have to just work that out in your head a little bit. If it's a headliner, they might say, hey, I've got this new CPAP joke. Could you skip yours if you don't mind? And some headliners will ask that. A lot of people consider it rude.
Sure.
Most crowds don't give a shit.
Yeah.
In my opinion, like if it's funny,
it's funny. It doesn't matter. I
His
don't
was
care if I
funny.
hear about
Yours is
CPAP
funny.
twice, yeah.
I don't care that you did it twice.
There's only so many situations in life you can talk about before you repeat yourself, right? So like
for sure, yeah.
There's a finite amount of things you can talk about.
I think most people in the crowd wouldn't even remember
Blink an eye.
the first guy who did the joke about that topic.
Yeah. At that point.
But a lot of comedians are like, oh, and like Tom was saying, I wear a CPAP too. And I'm like, oh, you just ruined your joke.
Yeah.
You
Don't
just
even
ruined
say
your
that.
joke by saying that he already did one, because now the audience is like, yeah, he already did a CPAP joke.
So now
Why
they're
are you
thinking
doing
about
one?
his joke while you're trying to tell your
Yeah.
joke.
Don't bring up old shit.
Don't even do it. Just do your joke. the way you do it, and they're not even going to think about, hey, there was already a CPAP joke tonight. They don't think, audiences don't think like that. They don't give a shit, you know?
Yeah, you've worked with Barry Wilson sometimes, right?
I've never. I know who Barry is. But
Oh, you
I've
haven't.
Never,
you
I
haven't
don't
done
think
a show
we've been
with
on
him?
a show together yet.
Oh, okay. I was
don't
thinking.
think so.
I was thinking you were at one of the shows
But
at the alley together.
I think we're friends on Facebook, and I see him on shows and stuff. But I don't think we've been on a show together yet.
Yep. Yeah, he's been on here a couple times. He's a funny guy.
Yeah, that's what I hear. People have recommended him to me, and one of these days we'll cross paths.
Yeah. Yeah, his he does a lot of real world stuff too, and he works in a school. He's a school janitor, so he's got some great material on
I mean,
it.
some of that shit writes itself.
Mr. Barry.
I mean,
Yep,
janitors,
Mr.
school
Barry.
janitors, teachers.
My wife's a teacher. She comes home and says shit. I'm like,
Oh yeah.
could definitely
who's
do a
what's
comedian.
that guy's
So much
name?
material.
Gotta write it down. Send it to
The
him.
principal in Middleborough. He's a comedian. What's his name? He does the shows at the alley. I can't think of his name.
You're
right
shitting
now.
me.
Yeah, I'm spacing his name right now.
Wow.
I'll find it. But
So
yeah.
let me ask you a question. So like we kind of just talked about different people having different spins on jokes that, you know, is relevant material to another comedian. So I know for years like Jerry Mancia.
Mm-hmm.
He's gotten a lot of like I don't even know if he does anything anymore. For a while he was, and then he got like a lot
he's
of
still
heat.
out there
He got a lot of heat for like
for stealing Joe Rogan's jokes.
Yes, exactly. It was Rogan who made like the biggest deal about it.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, did he steal it or just delivered it differently, but it's the same material? Because I'm like, if you go along the lines, if you go down the road of comedians, everyone's doing like the same
There's
joke.
a lot
Like I
of
said,
joke. There's
the
a lot
same
of
spin.
parallel thinking.
You know how many times I've gone on fucking rants, and then all of a sudden, like I go on like I'll like watch a Bill Burr special, and literally we had the same outlook on shit, and I'm like, I didn't fucking steal it.
Yeah,
Like,
Bill Burr is your spirit animal.
Yeah. No, I mean, a lot of people are inspired to write jokes about the same
Yeah.
things. But when it came to Mancia, I think he really was stealing jokes.
Oh, that's a shame. That's too
because
bad.
I've seen some videos back to back where it's like, wow, he really did
Yeah,
kinda
almost like word for
take
word.
that
like,
joke.
yeah.
But there are times where it's just like jokes are similar and it feels like they stole it. But, you know, it happened to me one time. I was telling a joke years ago. I was telling this joke. And it was funny, and I was proud of it. It was a great Christmassy joke, so I was telling it around the holidays every year. And then one time I get off stage, and another comedian comes up to me, and he goes, "Hey, you know that joke you do about the three wise men?" And I'm like, yeah. I'm thinking he's going to tell me it's a great joke. He's like, "That's from Family Guy." And I'm like, "What?" He's like, "That joke's literally from Family Guy. You know that, right?" And I was like, "No." And he's like, "You didn't like take it from the show?" I was like, "Not consciously. I watched Family Guy religiously back then, but I was like, did I? Like, I don't know." And my joke was very, very similar to a joke that they did on Family Guy. I thought I wrote this joke myself, but maybe I did subconsciously see that episode and then a year later be like, "Oh, I got this great idea."
Yeah.
You know? So I stopped doing it because I was like, "Well, I don't want anyone to think I'm stealing jokes," you know?
Right.
But
Jeez.
What was the joke?
it
Tell
can
it out.
happen. It was you guys remember the three wise? I got to remember it now. You guys remember the three wise men? You know, one of them brought gold, the other one brought frankincense, and the other one brought what was it? Myrrh.
Yeah.
And it's like, you know, how pissed off were those two guys when they found out the third guy brought gold? Like, dude, we agreed $25 or less. What the fuck? I'm over here with myrrh.
It is a good joke.
And that was like my version of joke. And Family Guy had a joke just very similar to it.
And it's such a great joke.
Where the three wise men come out
like,
and the two guys look at the guy with gold going, dude.
What the fuck, bro?
You know?
Yeah, it's like perfect for like Secret Santa season.
Well, that's it. And it's like, that's the thing is like, it's so relatable because it's everyone at Christmas, right? Everyone agrees on $25 and some guy drops a $5.
Of course.
Like, fuck you, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's funny.
And I tagged it with, and you know Jesus regifted that frankincense. Like he gave that shit to Moses
Because what the
next
fuck
Christmas.
do you do with frankincense?
Oh, that's great.
But I had a joke that there was, I worked with this comedian. He does new comedy mode, but I was working with this comedian one time. And I knew him for a while. We'd all been working the same circuit. And him and I were on a show together one time. And I had to do extra time because a comedian didn't show up or something. So I had to dig deep into my bag of jokes. And so I brought out a bit that I hadn't done in a long time. So it was the first time this other comedian was seeing me do this joke. And I did the joke. It went over well. And I started bringing it back into my act. I'm like, oh, you know what? I forgot about that joke. It's a good joke. I should keep doing it. So
that one hit. Let's
I started
do it again.
doing it again. And maybe like cut 6 months later, this dude got a lucky break and got put onto a late night show.
Oh, wow.
Oh, shit.
One of the talk shows. And he did that joke, but just changed the things in the joke, but it was the same joke.
It was the same punchline, essentially.
Yeah. So the joke that I do is I'm born, I have a birthday right near Christmas.
Yep.
And when you're born near Christmas, your parents will screw you. They'll try,
course.
or your family will screw you. They'll try to give you one present and say
both.
it's for both Christmas and your birthday. And my joke was, one year my uncle gave me a present. He wrapped it half in Christmas paper, half in birthday paper, and then handed it to me. And people wonder why I'm bipolar, and that was the joke. And this guy had the same situation. He had a birthday that was right near Christmas, like me, and so he did that joke, but he changed it to like, I don't know, like they gave me a bicycle for Christmas, and then they gave me the wheels for my birthday or something like that. It was the same joke, but I don't even know if he stole it from me or if he just had already had written that joke and it was just different from mine a little bit. But when he told it on TV, my phone was literally blowing up from all the comedy friends that I know saying, dude, he's on TV with doing your joke.
He's doing your bit right now.
And so when I ended up watching the episode, I'm like, well, he did the joke, but it's like, it's anybody's joke. I mean, it's there, and he just changed the items that was in it. I do the wrapping paper. He did the bicycle and the wheels or whatever.
It's like he took the concept of the... Because at the end of the day, the joke's a short story. So
I don't know. Some people told me that he was doing that joke previously, but I don't know if he got the idea from working with me or if it was something he had thought of before and we both had parallel thinking. Because if you're born near Christmas, everybody knows.
You've thought about something like
that. That happens to you.
Yeah.
So it's out there for anybody.
My mom's birthday is Christmas Day, so I've heard a lot of iterations of that.
Yeah, that doesn't count, though, because, your mom was a Christmas baby.
Yeah, exactly.
She is the present.
Because my birthday is December 30th. That's to me, that is the shittiest day of the year to be born. Because it's 5 days after Christmas. People are broke.
Yep.
Everyone's going to try to get fucked up for New Year's.
Yeah, they don't want to go out on your birthday because they're getting fucked up the next night. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So you're lucky if anyone even cares about your birthday.
Yeah.
And I wasn't a Christmas baby. I wasn't a New Year's baby.
And then before they return, what are they going to return? They're like, maybe Tom likes it. Maybe we'll wrap it up for Tom to take.
My joke was I wasn't a Christmas baby. I wasn't a New Year's baby. I was a tax deduction baby.
Yeah, baby, got that under the wire.
Oh, it's so funny.
Like, don't even tell me my father wasn't squeezing my mother's head in that delivery room. Like, come on, we can claim him.
Fucking amazing. As long as you're born the second before New Year's, I can claim you.
That's right.
Yeah.
We're making the cut. We're making the cut.
Yeah.
That's brilliant.
But the opposite end of that, as I found out, is when my 17-year-old turned 18, she's no longer deductible at 17. I was like, but she's not 18. Like, no, you're done.
Yeah.
But she's not 18. He's like, nope, you're done. The tax guy, I'm like, what the fuck? I thought I had 18 years.
Yeah, maybe you got to get it in by Thanksgiving or something.
Yeah.
But yeah, so those are like little Christmas jokes that I throw in.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, that's good.
Those are old jokes too. I wrote those, like some of those, like the
classics never die.
whole, you get one present for both. That goes all the way back to, like I was saying, to that website with the blogs.
Yeah.
That was a blog that I had written, and it ended up turning into stand-up material like many years later.
It's a great premise, though. But that's the
And
thing.
that's
It's
it,
like,
like,
you wrote the punchline, and then it's just forming the joke later. You know.
yeah.
What were you saying, your brother?
I was going to say, like, for that particular joke in the Christmas time thing, like, Blake's born 2 weeks after New Year's.
Oh yeah.
My aunt was born the day after Christmas. So every year we'd have this like conglomeration of extra presents for like other things. And
every
got fucked.
Christmas
Yeah.
we like everyone's like, shit, we gotta get a birthday cake for Darcy, and it's like a Christmas cake, and we're like scribbling out
Merry
Christmas to
Christmas. You're right. Happy birthday, Mom. Yeah.
I'm gonna add that to the bit now.
Yeah, exactly. It's like a cake with a Christmas tree on it that says Happy Birthday, Darcy.
Yeah, can you put Happy Birthday? Like, it's Christmas.
Yeah, it's a 50% off
Jesus'
Christmas
birthday,
cake.
God damn it. Yeah.
Exactly.
It's been out there in Walmart for 3 days.
Oh, it was Greg Thomas
man.
that I was trying to think of before. Greg Thomas.
Oh yeah, Greg.
Yeah, he is. He's like a high school principal.
Yeah.
So he has some great material.
I just worked
for
with
that.
him at the Alley Theater a couple months ago.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think that was
Greg's
Lorna was
really
the one
funny.
who hooked you guys up with me. So
Yep.
yeah,
Yeah, Lorna's
she had
my
mentioned
cousin.
You guys. Yeah, she's fantastic.
Yep.
I've done a
Lorna's
handful
great.
of shows there over the years.
Yeah, it's a
at the
cool
Alley
little theater.
It is. Yeah, that was a fun night. This was just like 2 months ago, and all my Paranormal friends came out to the comedy show. It was
nice.
It was like my worlds collided. It was cool.
That's awesome.
And yeah, because Ken from Rise Up and Cody and Satori were there, and
nice.
Julie and Steve, and it was like. And then after we went to a haunted place after too.
Oh, nice.
So
it
you
was a
just kept the whole thing going.
Yeah,
Just-
it's like, you know what?
One
Let's
to the
just
other.
do this.
Yeah, Cody and Satori have done a couple of their haunted object shows there.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I went to
I
the
haven't been
first
able
one
to go to
last
them,
year. Yeah, the one last year was awesome.
But
Yeah, I
I've
missed
had
this year.
some fun investigations with those two, man.
Yeah.
They are. Have they ever done their knocking thing for you guys?
No.
They explained it to us.
technique.
They didn't
Talked to
do
us
it
about
for
it,
us.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's so cool. I mean, I don't want to do an episode about them because they've already been on, but like, it's really, really like wild
Yeah.
that they're able to communicate with spirits the way they do, man. It's just so cool. And
I
I've
think
been able
that
to experience it firsthand a bunch of times.
talking about the different methods and gear, that's such a cool one. And the Estes method I always found really interesting.
I don't like it.
No?
No, I don't like
Yeah.
it.
What's the SC's method?
When you have the headphones and
Oh,
it's
yeah,
a
yeah,
set-
yeah.
yeah.
So basically, you're listening to a spirit box
Yep.
with headphones and a blindfold
Sure.
on. And anytime you hear the spirit box say something in the headphones, you just blurt it out.
Right.
And what happens is the other people in the room are going to ask questions, and then you can't hear their questions. So supposedly what that method is doing is it's taking out suggestion, but it's really not. I mean, it's the same thing as just letting the machine play without somebody listening to it.
Yeah,
You're
true.
just repeating what the machine said, and then you're trying to give that word meaning.
Yeah.
So it's the same thing as the spirit box by itself. It's just cooler looking on TV.
Yeah, I
you
guess
know,
that's true.
because,
That's a good way to look at it.
He's got headphones on and blindfold, so it must be real. It's like, no, it's the same thing.
Yeah.
It's just that, that person's just repeating what they're hearing. It doesn't make much difference. See, this is where I get people pissed at me in the paranormal field because I poo-poo on just about everything because I'm such a huge skeptic.
Well, no, that's better.
Well, I mean,
though.
it's all a matter of
I'm
opinion
just very
anyways, right?
scientific
Yeah.
about things,
Right.
That's why I got to write that book because that'll be a bestseller, The 10 Worst Tools
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
and Methods, because I would put that Estes method in there. And
Yeah.
every spirit box and Ovulus and Frank box and just all of them. Just
Yeah.
to me, they're just all just gimmicks.
All right, I have another question based on that topic. What about the?
And we went full circle right back to
Yeah,
paranormal.
I didn't intend to do that.
I love it.
What about the like the Xbox Kinect cameras that show like the kinetic
Oh yeah,
movement?
the SLS.
Yeah, SLS. What do you
Yeah,
think of
yeah.
those?
Horseshit.
Okay, fair.
That technology is, and that would be one of my top 10 worst too, is
Yep.
the SLS. That technology is designed to look for a human figure.
Yeah.
So anything that gets in front of that camera, it's trying to pick up human motion. It doesn't know that that's a chair. It just thinks, oh, am I looking at a human? Let's try to make this
That has
somehow
arms
human.
and legs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's what it's designed to do. So it's not picking up on a human presence. It's just picking up on what it's perceiving as human presence. And so I don't think it has any spiritual value at all. But boy, it looks cool on TV when those stick figures come out and they cleverly edit it. Can you raise your right hand? And it looks like the hand goes up,
Yeah.
I don't think there's any credibility to that thing at all. And it translates into the Tesla cars too.
Oh yeah.
Oh
Seen
yeah,
every
when
one of
people
those
drive
videos
through cemeteries.
They'll
Yeah.
drive through cemeteries, and it's like, well, every tree kind of looks like a person to a dumb little machine. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And
To a figure recognizing camera.
it's just looking for little points of light that reflect back to it.
Yeah.
And it's hoping to catch what looks like a human because that's what it's designed to do because you're controlling a video game with your motions.
Yeah.
So that's what it's designed to do. It's not
Program
designed
not to hit the thing.
It's not designed to pick up invisible things. It's designed to pick up visible things.
Yeah.
So if the light's bouncing off something, it's not bouncing off of a spirit. It's bouncing off the things in the room, which could be all kinds of stuff.
Tree, furniture, or whatever.
Yeah. So I don't put any. It's fun to cool to look at, but I don't think there's anything. You would have to really show me some compelling evidence with that, and I've never seen any that I thought was because that's another one of those things where it's going to be a lot of false positives.
Yep.
And then you're going to get a few positives, and you have to be like, all right, if all these others are false, then these probably were too. That's just basic
Call that
science.
a coincidence versus.
Yeah. That's
Oh,
just
that makes
basic
sense.
science, you know.
I'm
But
glad I asked.
But if you tell the spirit to do the YMCA dance and then the machine starts doing the YMCA dance, well, then maybe you do have
There's the
something.
compelling evidence.
Right.
Yeah.
Maybe that is something. But
Okay, I'm paying attention now.
yeah, but I've never seen anything that convinced me that that's any kind of technology that's doing anything paranormal for us.
That's fair.
Yeah, that would be in my book and would piss people off.
I'm excited for this book.
Yeah.
Maybe I gotta focus on that. Yeah,
You should name it. This is how I alienate people and don't make friends or something like
yep,
that.
Yeah.
yep.
It's like the opposite of the Dale Carnegie
like-
book.
Yeah.
Don't invite Tom to your investigation. He's going to be a wet blanket.
So,
yeah.
anything in particular you have coming up for events or anything you want to plug?
Oh, I've got, comedy shows coming up. I'm going to be, so this is live. So this Saturday, I'm going to be in, I believe, Westerly or Bradford, Rhode Island. Next weekend, I'm at Headliners in Manchester, New Hampshire. In December, I forget the date, but I'm going to be doing a corporate event at the Event Center in Warwick.
Nice.
And then New Year's
Yeah,
Eve.
so November 1st is Chunky's New Hampshire. Oh, that was old.
Oh, that already by, yeah.
Headliners, Manchester, New Hampshire.
Yep,
On
yep.
the 22nd.
Yep. And I think I've got some that I didn't add to my website yet. But New Year's Eve, I'm going to be out on the Cape. I forgot the name of the place, but I'll be out there for that. And and then 2026 is looking good. I've already got stuff booked for the first 4 months of the year
Sweet.
here and there. So yeah, loving the comedy. It's still going well. And paranormal wise, I just did a paranormal investigation on Halloween night.
Oh,
Nice.
nice.
With a couple of friends of mine, Ace Aceto and Scott Higgins, who are also comedians. And they have a podcast where they interview people in entertainment, mostly comedians. But the premise of their podcast is to talk about what their other interests are besides comedy. And so when they first had me on, I talked about paranormal.
Yep.
So since then, every October, they bring me on I would come on to tell spooky stories because Scott would get scared easily on
Yep.
the podcast. And so it became a big thing. And it became one episode every year, and then it became a whole month of October. They started calling it Scotttober.
Yep.
And then it got to the point where I started having to bring in other people from the paranormal field because I'd already told all my stories.
Yeah.
So we started bringing in Cody and Satori, and we had Andrea on there, and we've had, Steve
Nice.
Gonzalez and Jason Hawes and all that. So, and this year we were able to investigate an old theater in Connecticut.
Yep.
And we had the whole place to ourselves for Halloween night. There was only like 8 of us.
That's
And
great.
We did a little investigation, and we all, collected some evidence and data and had little experiences. And we're going to tell all those stories. I think maybe on an episode on New Year's or something like that.
Sweet.
Beginning of the year or the
Nice.
end of the year episode or something that they're doing.
What's the name of that show?
So it's called Behind the Funny.
Behind the Funny.
Yep.
All right,
And
cool.
that's a fun little podcast if you want to hear people just joke around and talk about stuff. But they get some really interesting guests on there from the entertainment field. A lot of comedians.
Sweet.
But they've gotten actors and writers and TV and radio people and stuff.
Nice.
And they just, they talk about the business. They talk about their other interests. And it's usually just lots of laughs. But the paranormal episodes are like their best ones because everyone's trying to make, scare Scott.
Yeah, Scott's.
And Cody and Satori, I think they did it on your show. They bring some of their haunted
Oh,
items.
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So, we
Mark
make
held the goddamn doll that moved, and I did not.
Yeah.
I did not approve of that.
Yeah, no, a lot of people didn't.
yeah,
I got a lot of
Like, do I hold
comments
it?
about that.
No.
They're
Mark's
awesome
like
with their items.
rocking it like a baby. No.
Yeah, I almost touched the monkey paw and I got yelled at.
Yeah, you can't do that.
Can't touch the monkey
That'll
paw.
look
Yeah,
Well,
I
there's a
took
lot
a
of bad
picture
things.
of it, and I was like, maybe I should have done that.
Yeah.
I walked in from the bathroom and I was like, "Oh, what's that?" And they're like, "No."
Well, because they just
can't
spent
touch
5
it.
minutes telling us how not to touch it.
Well, you touch it, you get
Yeah.
that energy, and then positive things happen to you, but bad things happen to other people.
Yeah. So
So that's not good.
So that's a fun one, and I'm hoping to do some more investigations next year. I'm kind of getting back into it for some reason, the investigating part.
That's exciting.
I was out of it for a long time, and
Sometimes you need a break,
and
and you get back
Yeah.
in. It's all good.
Yeah, I have a friend who just bought a funeral home, and he's living in it.
Oh, wow.
It's not a business anymore. He's just living in it. He's like, "Hey, you want to come and
no.
investigate this?"
No,
and I'm like,
holy shit.
I'm like, "Yeah, that sounds fun." So
I want to get a funeral director on the show.
I would
bad.
love to, right?
Yeah.
Man.
That'd be cool.
Yeah,
They all,
I don't know if-
they
I don't
all
know.
sign NDAs.
They're built
Yeah.
different.
Yeah, I mean, they could just talk about things that they've experienced in there. They
Yeah, I
have
don't
to
need
give
I don't
any
need
names or anything.
names. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I know that. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
But I don't know if it's good business to say that a funeral home's haunted, though, either.
Yeah, true.
I don't
It
think
wouldn't
is
even
it
matter.
bad.
Oh, I don't even
Wouldn't
need to
you
be
just
haunted.
assume?
Necessarily about
I
being
just
haunted.
assume.
Just the
I just want to know about the
itself.
job. I mean, we have like
Yeah.
contractors
Yeah.
on sometimes.
Yeah.
Yeah. No,
But I would just assume a funeral home's haunted, regardless.
I would think it.
I almost think it
I
is.
think it might be just because of.
I
the,
go to,
uh,
like,
the
wakes, I'm
energy,
like,
there,
ghosts.
You know,
Yeah.
like
I think there's so much competing energy that nobody's winning, so it just
Yeah.
doesn't do anything.
it's to me, it's because of all that energy of the people who are there mourning and in sadness, and it's just such a recent thing that just happened that energy just can generate stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know.
I mean, I've been to several funeral homes because I do inspections for the fire stuff, and I've been to funeral homes where there's nobody there, and you just walk in the building. It's just a building. Right?
Yeah.
We do our thing and we go.
Yeah.
And you walk into the same funeral home the next quarter, and there's a body in the morgue.
Yeah.
And it's a different vibe.
Oh, you feel a different vibe.
Yeah, but it's not I feel a different vibe, like I feel something is there with me. Personally, I'm like, I feel like I need to be more respectful now. Whereas like I wasn't the last time I was here, I was just walking and opening doors and it didn't matter. But now
Yeah.
there's a body here, like
Just
I need to be a
kicking
little
all the
more,
morgue doors open.
Yeah, I just need to be more respectful. And I don't know if that's the vibe that I'm getting. Like it's just a weird,
I have
Well,
an episode on my podcast where the story happens at a funeral home when I was younger, and I actually had to carry a dead body.
Oh,
my
I'll have to go
arms.
listen to that. In your arms? Like
Yeah,
not,
it was.
What
It was.
episode
It was
is
a
this?
child. It was a child who had passed away.
yeah.
It's one of the early ones. I'm trying to remember what I called it. Probably something funeral home related. But the part about the body is my one of my childhood friends. His family owned a funeral home.
Okay.
He lived in the home part of the funeral home.
Yep.
And every once in a while, he would have to go to another funeral home to pick up a body and transfer it to his funeral home. And so one day he asked me if I wanted to go for the ride because it was down towards my neck of the woods and I would know where to go.
Yeah.
You know, this was before GPS and stuff. So I said, yeah, I'll go with you. And we got to this funeral home, and the body was of a young child, probably 3-4 years old, died of like crib death or something sad like that. You know?
Yeah.
And he had brought a box to transport the child's body in, but the child was too big for it, and we had nothing else to put him in. So they basically just wrapped it up in these towels, these like white towels from the morgue. And, when we first got there, the baby was just lying on the table with its face exposed, but the towels over the rest of the body. And I was just kind of like, whoa, this
Haunted
is like,
funeral home.
This is, I make the titles very easy.
December 18th.
So anyways, as we're getting ready to transport this child's body, we don't have a box to put it in. So they just wrapped it up in some towels. We were just going to place it in the back of the funeral car. And he picks up the body, turns around and hands it to me. And I'm just,
nope.
I didn't even have a chance to say no thank you.
Just no thank you.
And
I'm
next
here
thing
for
I know,
directions.
I'm
Yeah.
holding a deceased child in my arms while he's going out to get the car and pull it up. And I'm like, what is happening?
Nope.
Like, whoever gets to do this and why would you want to? But like, what a weird experience I'm having. And then, we placed him nicely in the back of the car, and we, and then we drove, and I was like, wouldn't it be messed up if we got into like a car accident?
Oh my God.
And
Yeah.
then we're like, you killed him. You killed the kid.
Yeah.
Like, it was so weird.
No, he was already dead. All
No,
good.
he was
dead
All
before we
good.
left.
You imagine explaining that on the side of the road?
Just
Holy
kidding. He was already
shit.
dead.
Yeah.
Already- yeah.
I just read the description of that, and it said something about being in a coffin and not being able to open it.
Yeah, we used to play hide and seek in the funeral home.
Yeah,
Nope.
yeah.
We were younger.
Let's.
No.
Can we get
Nope.
into that quick?
Nope.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
I'm gonna go.
so
I can't. Confined
I was-
spaces and being locked in.
I
is
was
like my
stupid
thing.
enough
I can't
to
do it.
hide in one of the caskets that was out on display.
Yeah.
There was no body in it. It was just, and I crawled in it and closed it, and I couldn't get it open again. I was like stuck inside of it. It was like,
What the fuck?
on top of being spooky, I'm claustrophobic too. So
Yeah.
that was like a nightmare, So I talk about that in there. Well, I'll tell you a story that I don't think I ever told on the podcast.
Yeah.
This isn't necessarily spooky, but it kind of goes along with the funeral home and the energy and how it's kind of it's really close to the threshold of being from this world and whatever happens when we die. So years ago, when I was like really like doing nothing but paranormal stuff all the time, I decided to go on Reddit. Reddit was kind of a new website at the time. And a lot of people were doing something called an AMA, which is Ask Me Anything.
Oh yeah. Yep.
So if you were like some sort of an expert in a field, you'd say, hey, I'm a narcotics detective. Ask me anything. or I'm a, flight controller, ask me anything or whatever. So I put up there, I'm a real life paranormal investigator, ask me anything. And for like the next 3 days, I got bombarded with like thousands of questions. A lot of people asking about their situation, what's happening to them. Other people just trying to troll me.
Yeah.
Other people just curious about my, view on certain things. And as I'm doing it, there was, I didn't notice it, but there was this one guy who kept asking me really pertinent questions. And every question I got, I would answer it to the best of my ability based on my experiences. Even the trolls, I would like play along with them. But we try to give a legit answer just to seem like I know what I'm talking about. And then this guy reached out to me and he goes, I've been following your AMA. And, you really seem to have a lot of knowledge about this. I like that you're science-based and everything like that. He's like, I'm a documentary producer out in Los Angeles. And he says, I've stumbled into a situation that I want to make a documentary about a hospital that I think is haunted. Huh. And he's like, and I wanted to get your input and maybe even take you on as a consultant as I make this documentary. He goes, because I don't usually make documentaries like that. He goes, my documentaries are usually based on people from history and stuff. He goes, and so this would be a completely new thing for me. And so we talked a lot, and then he told me what happened. So he was doing a documentary in New Mexico at a hospital, and it was a story about some soldier or something. Yep. And about his life and how it ended early or whatever. And while he was in the hospital, strange things were happening to him and his crew while they were filming. There was an elevator that kept opening when nobody was on it. His equipment would it was fully charged, but now all of a sudden the battery's dead out of nowhere. Lots of weird things. And they had doors open and close. And then he was telling me that one point he was filming, and he was in a part of the hospital that was closed down because part of the hospital had just been closed down for whatever reason. So they were able to use that part of the hospital to recreate their documentary scenes in real, offices and rooms and stuff. And while they were filming a scene, they kept having to cut the scene because they kept getting bleed through audio of babies crying from like the maternity ward, So after a few times of it interrupting what they were trying to do, he went and found like a head nurse or something and said, hey, are there any doors you can close or anything so that we can block out that noise because it's kind of, getting onto our film? And the nurse was like, there's no maternity ward here.
Yeah, there's no babies.
Those crying babies are not here. You're just hearing crying. She's like, we hear it all the time. And he's like, what? And so that's when he started realizing
oh, no, that's just the babies in the walls.
There's some crazy shit going on in this hospital.
Check, please.
So he started... While filming that documentary, during his off time, he would take like a handheld and he would go and interview people who work at the hospital, security guards, nurses, doctors, whatever, anybody who would talk to him and talk about some of the experiences they had in the hospital, and there was a lot of them. And then he found out that most hospitals, people have these experiences, which is something I've learned because I have friends who work at hospitals. I've had strangers who work at hospitals who were recommended to me for consultation for the shit they were putting up with.
And even if they're not old, you think of how much life and death happens in a hospital.
To me, the hospital is like the threshold to the other side because that's where most people lose their life. They die in a hospital.
Yeah.
So anyway, so he filmed his documentary and then he got all these pieces and stuff of other people. And then that whole hospital closed down and it was scheduled to be demolished. He got permission to be able to go film his now paranormal documentary about the hospital and the things that were happening there. They were going to give him like a 3 or 4 day window to just go in there. And now there's nobody there. It's been closed for a couple months now.
Yep.
There's no people in there. Nobody's working, no patients or anything. So he was going to get to have the run of the place. And he was saying to me, how should I approach this? How should I film it? Blah, blah. And I was like, you really should have a paranormal team. I was like, people who know what they're doing with all the gadgets and stuff and people who aren't going to run off if something happens.
Yeah.
And I told him, I was like, you don't even understand in the paranormal world, you have the holy grail at your hands right now. I was like, that hospital, it just closed down. So all that activity is wondering what happened. Where'd everybody go? And as soon as you go in there, I was like, I'm telling you, shit's going to go off the chains.
Oh, yeah.
Because, you always see... investigations of old abandoned hospitals that have been closed for decades.
Not one that closed a month ago.
Yeah, but not one that just closed within months, So everything is still so fresh and active, So So he was like, well, would your team be interested in doing this? I was like, well, you're going to have to pay our way.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
He's like, let me see if I can get the funding for this. He goes, because I didn't plan on having it be this big a deal. I was just going to walk in with a cameraman and just film stuff. So he's like, but I like your idea. So he's like, let me see if I can get the funding. So he went to some of the people in Hollywood that he usually goes to for backing. And a lot of them were interested, but they all wanted to put their twist on it.
Yeah.
And they all wanted to go, cheesy or fake stuff or, let's get a pretty girl with big boobs, whatever. And he was very much a stickler for, no, I want us to be historical and scientific. I want it to be a documentary. I don't want it to be reality TV.
Yeah.
So he ended up having to turn them all down. So he ended up turning to a GoFundMe to try to raise the money to do it. And long story short, we weren't able to come up with the money. So I was never able to bring my team out there and investigate this once-in-a-lifetime place.
And it's gone now at this point.
And he never got to film there, and they've demolished it, and it's gone. Now, where this hospital was located is a town in New Mexico called Roswell.
Oh.
This was a military hospital in Roswell, New Mexico.
Oh, talk about you just add a layer to the
And
cake here.
Some of the rumored history lore was
Area 51.
Was that when they found bodies at Area 51, that was the first place they brought them.
Whoa.
And the hospital was, famously haunted. All the people who worked there had experiences. Part of the reason why they shut it down was because so much activity was happening in that one section and things like that. But it's gone now. That opportunity was lost. And that one hurt because I was like, wow, this documentary could take this field to the next level.
Oh, yeah.
Because I was 100% sure we're going to capture things that people have never captured before. We're going to get so much on film, EVPs, personal experiences. We could set up cameras that are running 24 hours.
Yeah.
And just all kinds of shit could happen. And because it's just so close, and that opportunity was probably once in a lifetime.
Oh, that's a shame.
Yeah. Wish I could have gone to that. That would have been quite the credit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it sounds like you got a lot of fun stuff in the works, and
I'm
sure more to come.
I do. I've been having a blast.
Yep. So check out My Paranormal Story, TomStewartComedy.com. Is that the best place to find updates on where you're going to be? TomStewartComedy.com?
Yeah, for comedy, TomStewartComedy.com. And you can just follow me on Facebook, Tom Stewart on Facebook. I'm always writing funny stuff up there and then talking about what shows are coming up and stuff.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Well, I think we've said it all.
It's been great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anything else you want to plug before we wrap up, Tom?
I think that's it. I think I've talked a lot.
Yeah. No, that was
Is anyone
fantastic.
even
Exhausted.
Is anyone still listening?
Anybody still here? Oh,
Hello?
no, we're right on time. 2 hours is our window.
2 hours.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Goes
thought
by
I was
quick.
never going to stop.
Yeah.
No, I appreciate you guys having me. This was awesome.
Of course, man.
When you
This is
reached
great.
out, I was like, oh, this sounds like it'll be a lot of fun. Yeah, thanks for having me.
Of course. We'll definitely check out more of the shows you have released, and our listeners will be able to find all the info for your website and podcast in our show notes. So definitely check out TomStewart.com, Tom Stewart on Facebook, and we'll put all those links in the show notes as well. Thanks, everybody, for listening, and we'll see you next week.
See ya.